Well, that's all weird and slow. Hi, everybody. Merry Christmas and a happy Hanukkah. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Welcome, everybody, to SunDAVE Sit Down. Flush Jackson, he's not here right now, but he did wish me a happy holidays. Happy holidays, Flush. And Amber, happy holidays. Hello, hello, hello. And my special friends, Avery, Anti-Hero Comics. Happy holidays. Feliz Navidad. Happy Hanukkah. Merry New Year. Many of the things. Yes, you are weird and slow too, but that's why we keep you around. Hi, everybody. It's SunDAVE Sit Down. I know it's Christmas. I know most of you are eating food with your family or sleeping off the food coma or watching, having the age-old argument that's only about a decade old. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Listen, anything could be a Christmas movie if you watch it on Christmas. Is Batman Returns the first DC? Who gives a shit? Gremlins is the best Christmas movie. I don't care. You know, it's kind of funny, not to go off on a rant or anything, but about 15 years ago, maybe even more, when I was still very, very active on the Facebooks, I used to talk about how I love Die Hard as a Christmas movie before all these, like, internet arguments started. And I think anybody that's in the 40-year-old range will tell you that Die Hard is indeed a Christmas movie, and it has been a Christmas movie since it was released. But anyway, I digress. This is about comics. I hope everybody had a very, 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 very lovely holiday weekend, whatever it is that you do, whether you celebrate or not. I hope you got a chance to kick back, relax, watch some movies, watch some TV, read some comics, sort through your comics. I did a lot of sorting so far this week. I watched a lot of TV. I rewatched, speaking of the year in review, which this is that show, I rewatched all of Moon Knight yesterday. Yesterday or 2 days ago? Yesterday. I rewatched all of No, it was 2 days ago. I rewatched all of Moon Knight again for a third time, and you know what? I absolutely, absolutely love that show. It was so good. It took all different elements from all the different iterations of all the writers and all the artists that did Moon Knight and kind of all into one little thing, and it was fantastic. Um, so yes, that was fun thing to do. I read. Let's see. I think read. I didn't read any comics today or yesterday, but I looked through a bunch. So yes, this is the 2022, the year that was. I should rewatch Moon Knight. I rewatched Hawkeye. I think I did it like 6 months ago, maybe a little bit less. Towards the end of the summer, in one sitting. It works well in one sitting. I still think it was like. All right, here's my thing. We could talk about this to go. I do believe, in my opinion, which is just some schmuck, but I do believe that all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe shows, the Disney Plus shows, work better as a binge, as one sitting. That being said, I think Moon Knight was a good length. Moon Knight was paced out perfectly. Hawkeye, you could have just cut 2 episodes right out. Just cut them right out. And I think that would have been good. Miss Marvel, cut the middle 2 episodes out. Great show. WandaVision should have been longer, actually. I think the last act should have been stronger. But did that come out this year? Or did that come out last year? So yes, this is the year in review show. If anybody wants to chime in with some of their, favorite things that they enjoyed or things that they, want to ask me my opinion, let's go for it. But let's start. I had a lot of this year was insane. This was the first full year of the West Coast Avengers, and it started as this thing with me and my buddy Dave Correa. It morphed into this other thing, where a vehicle for me to sell comics on my own channel without having to work for anybody or split money or pay somebody to sell comics, so that I could give people the best prices. I had some amazing finds this year that I want to go through, but let's start off with if you haven't watched all the episodes, then you might have missed episode of the $50 challenge that I did with my buddy Super Ugly. Steven, we'll get to that in a second because I have that on my list of stuff to talk about. Super Ugly is a rapper, an artist, an all around great guy, and a comic collector. If you never saw this, he wrote a rap about us, the West Coast Avengers. So let me play that for you right now. All right, here we go.
All right, I wrote this for the West Coast Avengers. It goes like this. Ayo, we get high like we stilt man when we lost in the stacks. Digging in them long boxes when bronze is the platinum. Love Silver Rage, Doctor Strange Tales to Astonish Journey into Mystery Giant-sized comics. We take them slab, cracked, or raw, with no cover at all. Very fair with a pressable flaw. Remember this, across the multiverse and alternate dimensions, when you see Todd, you buy Todd. West Coast Avengers!
All right, apparently I'm sharing too many video files and it's causing the slowdown, but you guys heard that. All right, so Peacemaker. Okay, first off, Suicide Squad was the movie that me and my buddy Tanner, when that came out, that was like our first movie that we had gone to with however many months of lockdown, whatever it was. And that was like, it was a purging of all my emotions into crying, laughing almost the entire movie. And so when Peacemaker came out, I got really stoked because I love John Cena. I used to be a big wrestling fan. And he nailed it as Peacemaker. That show was too good. Like, we didn't deserve how good that show was. It started out a little slow, but it was very heavy on his flaws as a character. But overall, holy shit, that, like, from the beginning with the musical number, I knew that show was going to be something different. And well, it was. And we got like the payoff at the end. If you haven't seen it, like, there's just one of the Aquaman fucks fish thing comes back into play. That's all I'll say. And if you haven't seen it, I'm giving the benefit of like no spoilers for the most part. Just watch it. Sit down. It's R-rated, it's crude, and it's hilarious. And it's all James Gunn and John Cena with a great cast of characters. Amber says everyone talks about the meaning of life is, but what is the meaning of life in Marvel Comics? The meaning of life of Marvel Comics is that if you die, you come back. So there really is no meaning of life in Marvel Comics. See, they brought back everybody at some point. Okay, so I'm gonna get the big one that I'm gonna wait until the end because that's like one of the coolest things. But there's a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. Who knows how long this show's gonna run? I hope hope everybody had a fantastic holiday week. Happy Festivus. All that. If you celebrate, if you don't, what I take away from a holiday personally for me is just a time to kind of do what I want at home without having to worry about what else is going on around me. Because everything's kind of shut down. It's a holiday. All right. Except Uncle Ben. That is true, but I'm pretty sure he came back at some point during the Clone Saga. So they do it anyway. one of the pour one out for Uncle Ben. One of the things. Oh, by the way, say hello to my only Christmas decoration, and that is a Santa Spawn figure. I do not celebrate Christmas, but I do believe that Santa Spawn has his time to shine, and it is this week. All right, we'll leave Spawn over here. Speaking of Spawn, Todd, one of my goals for this year was to find a copy of this in the wild, Wizard #1, and this was actually one of the Actually, no. I'm gonna say what it is. It was the top of my McFarlane list. I'm putting together a collection of everything that McFarlane's ever published artwork wise, and I'm starting with my goal was to get all the non-image stuff before I went to the Spawn and all that. I found a listing. It was either Craigslist or that's right. The news ears are burning. I invited him, but he's eating dinner. He's got his family time. I found a listing on either OfferUp or Facebook, and it was just like an assorted thing of comics, and it was like I can't even remember what the wording was, but it was just like a mishmash of comics. And I'm not kidding you. This is how like in tune and like how yeah, how attentive I am to when I look at pictures of listings, I'm looking at like every corner. I saw, I think I saw this. Like this part of the W was under another comic. I'm like, oh shit, there's a wizard number one in there. And the person was like 15 miles away. And sure enough, I went there and it was just like a tub of comics, and this was sitting like halfway down. And I paid like 25, $30 for this whole tub of comics. And I think there was some book, and I don't remember what it was, but there was some book in here that was like a $30 book that I sold to basically break even, and then I sold everything else and kept this. But if you're not familiar, if you're not if you're ear if you're not familiar with what you're looking at right here, this is a copy of Wizard number one for the kids that grew up in the late 80s, early 90s. This was it. This was the MTV news. This was the internet. This was everything for comics news for us kids growing up in the late 80s, early 90s. Flush Jackson in the house. Hello, my friend. Hello. It's nice to see you. You didn't miss much. You didn't miss much. So Wizard was the first magazine that was like the dirt sheets, to use a wrestling term, the dirt sheets. But the problem was is that it was run by Garib Sheamus, and Garib Sheamus was kind of like he was in it for the money, so you could pay him to advertise, you could pay him to they're advertising the comics that they advertise for, like Valiant, were valued more in their price guide. So, Wizard does kind of share a lot of responsibility for the downfall of a lot of things about the comics in the 90s, but we did get some great artwork in these first 10 issues. The cover This cover was a painting that Garib Sheamus's dad originally commissioned for McFarlane, and Garib asked him later on, "Can I use this for the cover?" And the rest is history. But this is one of the top things that I wanted to find this year, in a way, that I didn't have to pay a lot, and I basically got this for free. So that's one of my favorite things this year. All right, so Derpa's going to share a story. When I began dating my wife, she mentioned she wanted to start collecting milk glass dishes and compotes. I go to thrift stores to develop a Terminator like. See, okay, so Derpa brings up a great point. It doesn't even have to be focused on comics. It's the fact that you can develop this kind of sense like I totally understand what he's talking about, because that's how I am when I go to an antique ball or a garage sale, like scan like that, the way the Terminator does. Milk glass, sir, on all dishware, coffee mugs. Yeah, it's this fun skill. I'm sure people can equate that to something else. Like I'm the same way. I don't buy records too much anymore, just because I got everything I ever wanted. It's like 800-900 records in my living room. But it's the same way when I go to a record store. I'm just like scanning so quick, and it's when I'm flipping through books. Yeah, it's some weird thing. I don't know. I don't know. Um, but milk glass just sounds delicious. I'm not sure what that means. Target acquired, milk glass obtained, beep pop more. Where's John Connor? All right. So I shared. So one of the more one of my I don't know if you. I'm going to talk in terms of how I feel about the episodes that I've put on here for you guys to view. So one of my favorite episodes and maybe my least favorite incident all happened uh, earlier this year. I want to say it was spring, with my buddy Joe. And I was trying to see if Joe could come on, but he's doing stuff with the family, so we forgive him. But give me one sec. I'm just checking to see if anybody else wanted to. All right. Well, if Ug's in here, hey Ug. All right. So I replied to a Craigslist ad. I found out one of the local comic book stores I go to told me he picked up like 60 long boxes. Oh yeah, he's coming flush. The weasel. One of So I replied to an ad on Craigslist. I had heard that there was a store that closed, and a local comic book store friend of mine told me he bought 60 long boxes, but there was still stuff left. So I went to this guy's house who had closed his store. And I don't know if you guys saw the episode, but it Turned out that the basement was this. Let's watch this clip. You ready? Here we go.
This is what it's like for comic collectors in hell.
Yeah.
How you doing over there, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, you want to give a thumbs up to the world? There's literally comic.
Unfortunately, none of these clips are working. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm trying to roll the footage, and I think I just have too many things let in. Let's try that again. I'm gonna remove most of these clips from the stream and see if that speeds things up. Let's try that again.
All right, I came back.
So this was his basement. What I didn't show is in this corner right here on the right-hand side, if you're looking at this head on like I am, on the right-hand side, there was a broken fucking sewage pipe in an old broken shower. And like the closer I got to that, the more it smelled like human waste. So me and Joe had gone. I had gone back. This is the clip from when I got back, when I went back. Now, let's show this clip again of Joe. Poor
And
Joe.
comic ephemera and comic memorabilia.
And the famous clip
Thumbs up
that
to the world.
there he is. All right, so yes, I am this is a Simpsons level show. Clips. That's right. All right, so the guy's name was Dave, and I bought a whole bunch of stuff from his basement. A lot of unopened boxes of cards, a lot of comics. Actually, if you could see up here, one of those Blade 9/8s, I got 5 of them. 5 of those Blade 9/8s. And and so we went to his storage locker with the guys doing this was it was under the guise of helping him clear out his storage locker, like move stuff around so he could bring the stuff out of his house into the storage locker, and then we could, put together piles of stuff to buy from him. In that mess, and you guys can watch the episode. It's in there somewhere on the timeline. In that mess was just books everywhere, and I lost my fucking car keys in my car, and I had the clicker, and it was like, imagine losing. Okay, imagine this: Star Wars: A New Hope. They're in the trash compactor, and Luke drops his lightsaber. That's basically what happened to me. Except I'm not a Jedi, and so I bought all these comics from him. But I was like, "Hey, Dave," and his name's Dave too, and I was like, "I need to look through the storage locker to find my keys." And anyway, I had to call a locksmith, and he still wouldn't let me go back in the storage locker. Anyway, I made $10,000 off the stuff I bought, so I had the last laugh, but still kind of pissed me off. But that was a hell of an experience, and needless to say, I would secure my car keys. I would do it again. I was saying boo earns. I can't. This is true. I can't actually. Yeah. I brain ended the Naked Gun 2 day. I've been swimming in raw sewage. I love it. All right. That's a great reference. I love that. Here was a fun one. Speaking of my friend Anti-Hero Comics, you're my anti-hero at Avery. This was a fun little find. So I was going home. I'm originally from New York, even though I don't live there anymore, so I'm not calling it home. But I was going back to New York, and I wanted to do some Instagram posts on like like New York specific comic covers, and trying to find take a photo of that cover near where it was taken. And so this was a mystery that baffled me. This is Submariner number 7. I actually had a copy of this, but Avery sold me a different copy that was in better condition. And I was trying to figure out where exactly this was taken. And I asked my dad, and I went to the New York Public Library to try and figure out, because I was pretty sure that this is the Empire State Building, but I couldn't figure out where the facade is. All this stuff. And it's a parade, and parades usually go down Madison Avenue or Fifth Avenue. And this is, clearly a photo cover from the 60s. So I was trying to figure it out. And well, check this out. I did figure it out. Let's roll this clip.
West Coast Avengers.
So that was 34th Street, and this I forget, Asbeck. This facade is still here, and I thought this was really cool that I was able to find where this photo was taken exactly. This is kind of like the perch of Macy's on 34th Street in Manhattan. So New York, nothing is as bad as Florida. We'll get to Florida. What's that? Just exactly. Storage locker versus walk-in cage. So I appreciate you, Avery, for hooking this one up. This is really cool. All right, let's get into some of the other fucking crazy good pickups and finds. Here's one. I had bought. This is a fun story. This is an Iron Man #1. I actually want to flip through it. I thought it would be fun to flip through this live. If you guys have never seen Iron Man 1, we can look through it right now. But I thought this was pretty cool because I was going to the grocery store. I don't remember what time of year it was. I want to say this was early summer. Johnny Craig inked this. Archie Goodwin and Gene Colan. I was going to the grocery store and I was at a red light and I got a notification. Oh, hello, Matthew. Maddie, I don't know if you got my message. Hi, Maddie. Congrats. Yeah, congrats. I don't know if you got my message, but if you want to pop on in a little bit, show off any big finds that you got this year, you're welcome. I'll send you the link. So I was driving and I was at a red light and I got a notification on OfferUp and I clicked on it and it was this guy selling this crazy collection and it was loaded with keys, Black Panther #1, first Black Knight, first Deadpool, ASM 300. There was a couple of Stan Lee signed books. Maddie, I'm just going to email you the link just in case you want to take advantage of it. Totally up to you. Avery's going to be joining in a little bit. So it's going to be a little jamboree. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Maddie's in the room. Everybody's in the room. Red Pill Vegan's in the room. So I swear to God, I was at a red light. I clicked the notification. I quickly pulled over. I messaged this dude. I was like, hey, I want to come take a look at the collection. I think he wanted it was like $6,000 or something like that. There was a bunch of graded books, but I messaged Maddie about it. I'm like, here, take a look at this. It's funny that Maddie just came in. Because I messaged Maddie, I'm like, hey, look at this collection. What do you think, value wise, what do you think this is worth? Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, met up with the guy. I think it was $7,000. And I think all I did was have him take out one of the Stan Lee signed books. And I still got 2 or 3 Stan Lee signed books. And he sold it to me for like $5,000 or something like that. Anyway, it was just one of those collections that I knew I had to jump on. And, sometimes that's how I operate. It's like, you always got to be the first person to get in front of this stuff. It doesn't matter if you intend to buy it or not, because, the old saying goes, but it's true. The early bird catches the worm. You just got to be in front of it first, because if you're not first, you're last. Shake and bake. And I didn't know I was going to buy it until I was in front of it. And it's a lot easier to make that kind of offer when you're in front of the person instead of messaging them, because they know you're serious when you're standing outside your bank and you're like, all right, let me go get the money. Let's see. What else we got? You know what? Maddie just came in the room. And if you don't know, if for some reason you're new to this whole West Coast Avengers family, me and Maddie did a couple of claim sales together this year. We made a couple of great promos, and I want to show one of those great promos off right now. If you didn't see it, this is our ode, me and Maddie, our ode to Jar Jar Binks. All right, here we go.
Oh no! Misa's supposed to be calling her Maddie! Maddie! Oh, Jar Jar! FaceTime and call her Maddie! Maddie?
Davy!
Maddie!
Oh, Misa, muy good friend Davy.
Oh, Maddie, we still gonna be doing a claim sale?
The boyos making a nuts and claim sale.
Oh, Misa no thinking no claim sale one day?
Misa no una Freddy frog.
Misa thinking claim sale today.
Oh,
This is
muy
so bad.
longo comic and Wisa make muy mula, Davy.
Muy books. Oh, Wednesday.
Excuse me.
Thursday on the Instagram, yo.
Okite.
Misa liking you.
Misa love yous.
Maddie!
Davy! Davy!
A West Coast of the Avenger!
MM Comics Edition! Emmy!
Well, that lost at least 3 people in the room, but it's okay. It's okay. And everybody give a congratulations to Maddie. Maddie's a brand new daddy, and I don't mean it in the zaddy way. I mean it in the father way. Freddy Frog actually named his child. That is accurate. Speaking of Freddy Frogs, how's about this story? That's how I call my cat now. How's about another story? So I definitely promoted this for anybody that was in the area, but I had a garage sale, 2 garage sales this summer, and they were fantastic. Just imagine mid-90s George Lucas walking around talking like that. Aw. I had 2 garage sales this summer, but crazy thing is, I had like 10 long boxes out, dollar books, all that kind of stuff. And I thought it would work. It worked both times. I had a great time. But the first garage sale, I had a woman come up, and I had a woman come up to me, and she was like, "Oh, I see you love comics." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I have a couple comics back home. Some of them are old. I know I have an old Spider-Man book." And, I was like, "Oh, that's nice." Somebody tells you they have an old Spider-Man book. You never know what you're going to get. And she's like, "If you want, I live pretty close." She's like, "Do you want me to come and bring the comics by?" And I was like, "Sure." Not ever thinking that this woman was going to come back with anything. And sure enough, I had forgotten. Like 2 hours later, she comes back and she shows me the books, and she ends up selling this to me for $300. She came to my house, to my garage sale, to sell me an Amazing Spider-Man #6, the first appearance of the Lizard. Now, it's probably like a 2.0 to a 3.0 or something like that, maybe a little bit better. I haven't looked at it since I bought it because it's a little bit frail, but let's take a look at it now. So I joked around. A couple of friends, including other Dave, was like, you have a garage sale and people come to you to sell you comics, and it's the first appearance of the Lizard. Yeah, look at that first page, Lizard with a bunch of alligators. I guess it wouldn't be so intimidating if he showed up and attacked Spider-Man with a bunch of geckos. But yeah, so like I said, person came to my house at my garage sale and sold me this. I don't know. It's kind of like some weird. Is this really like real? Don't say that. But yeah, first appearance of the Lizard. I paid $300 for it. She was happy with that price. I was happy with that price. At some point I'll probably. I don't know if I'll get this pressed. It might be a benefit to get it pressed, but it's not going to really do much. This thing's in the condition it's in, and that's that. So that was a wild thing this year. I'm definitely plan on having more garage sales next summer, and the possibility of maybe doing a garage con, which is an interesting idea. Having like a couple of friends come by and set up a couple of tables and just do comics. So that was fun. In PNW garage sale, buyers sell you their shit. Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of weird. We're going to get into some of the bigger finds soon. This one I just want to show off. Just very recently, I answered an ad. Guy had just a bunch of random stuff, horror books and Silver Surfer books and stuff like that. And so I went to his house in Olympia and I looked through all the books. Most of them were banged up, but I did find these two gems along with, I think, two others. Bernie Wrightson signed books. House of Mystery number 214, right there, signed in gold paint pen by Bernie, and his only Tomb of Dracula cover. I believe it's only his only one. Tomb of Dracula 43, signed in black right there. I know what his autograph looks like. There was a couple other signed books in there. I knew they weren't fake. I got like 20 different Bruner, Frank Bruner signed Doctor Strange books. So this was just a very unexpected find, only just about a month or so ago. Where I'm at in California, people just come to my garage sales and rob me. Aww. Aww. All right. Speaking of, you know what? Let's bring him in. Avery, let me know when you're ready. Pop on in. Let's show another clip. What do we got? Here, I did a comic convention. Actually, no, I'll wait till Avery's in here. We'll talk about that. But I did go to Packwood Flea Market this year in the middle of Washington. The entire flea market takes over the town. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. And I can't wait to go back. But here's a clip of I bought an Iron Man 55 at that flea market. Graded 5.0. It's the first appearance of Thanos. But check out what was next to it. I didn't buy it because I had. Guy had a GSX number 1. He wanted like 2,500 and maybe like 3,500 for it. But I ended up buying this for 500.
I've been wanting a first appearance of Thanos for a while.
Iron Man 55 5.0. That's not pressed or clean. So, I'm stoked. That was one of my Grail books to have this year, and I got it. Let's bring in my guest. Here he comes. Everybody knows him. At least 3 people love him. His name is Avery, Anti-Hero Comics.
At least 3 people love him.
At least, right?
At the minimum. At the minimum.
Like, you're loved by at least 3 people, and I'm one of them.
That's true. You're one of them. I have one right here, and then my dog probably likes me a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
How you doing? You haven't showed off the weasel yet, right?
No, we're gonna get to that because that garage sale accounts for my
Tom is not one of them.
one of my biggest grails.
That's true. That's true too.
Tom is not one of them. Comic Tom isn't, but Comic Tim is.
No, Comic Tim does love me. I know this for a fact. He also loves my alter ego as well.
Yes, Ethel. There's a love triangle. So I invited Buddy. Wow, his name's Buddy now. I invited my buddy.
Buddy the Elf. What's your favorite color?
You sit on a throne of lies. Said I know him. I invited Avery on here just to kind of talk about I actually finally met you this year, which was really nice. I mean, our friendship kind of started this year, but you're one of the couple people from like the internet that I met in real life and got to hold and touch and hug. Yeah. We shot a little thing together. Cradle of Filth, that is.
Oh, you know what? Here, keep rambling. Keep talking.
All right. But Avery is just part of the Avery knows the Undergrader too. Another one of those characters that shows up every once in a while. But I just invited Avery on just to show off some stuff. We'll talk about some of the books that he got, some of the books I got. Avery is a veteran of San Diego Comic-Con. How many times have you been there?
I've been there 4 times. 4 times.
4 times. And is that like in the last 4 years? Oh, there it is. That's right. There's the sign that was in the that you held up on the street.
Yeah, I'm hanging on my wall right
now. Was it the last 4 years you went?
Well,
besides the pandemic.
3-year break. Yeah. So I went 2 years before the pandemic, and then I went. No. I went 3 years before the pandemic, and then I went this last year.
Okay.
I didn't go to the special one.
So I mean, I know your highlight of the year, but you could just. The people that don't know, what was the highlight of your San Diego Comic-Con year?
Going to Hall H, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
because, and honestly, it was cool too. I don't know if anybody is from California or has ever been, but
what's California?
It's like Puerto Rico.
Okay, I get it. Okay,
it's like a territory in the continental United States. But in this beautiful place called California, there's a place called San Diego. But
yes, whale's vagina.
yes. Anchorman's there, Will Ferrell's there. But yeah, the whole process of like waiting in line for Hall H is like part of the fun. It's like almost like 70% of the fun too.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never experienced that before in all the years I went. So finally going to Hall H was crazy. I wish I could pull up the clip. No, I'm just kidding. But like standing in line of the whole process. I think I have my sign over there too. Like I went all out. I made the sign of the goats from Thor,
Right.
Love and Thunder, that lit up and everything like that. And like it was just it's like weird. It's like its own little microcosm of a community.
Sure.
And then you go in there and you just get to experience Hall H. It was weird. I fell asleep during the House of Dragons panel. But
how long were you like? How long is that day? About 12 hours of stuff?
The actual like Hall H ceremony.
Yeah.
It's not that long. It goes from like 9, not 12 hours, but it's pretty long, like 9 to 5. 9 to 5.
8 hours. I mean, that's you got to see fucking. I mean, like aside from the Marvel stuff, you got to see The Rock come down.
Yeah,
in his costume.
And you know what's funny too is I didn't look at the schedule, so
Uh-huh.
I knew that Warner Brothers was going to be there because Warner Brothers and Marvel always do it on the same day. But I didn't know. I didn't look at what else. Everybody was talking about it, but I was like, I don't want to hear because I kind of just want to go into it purely blind.
Sure.
And I didn't know the Sandman panel was that day.
Oh, wow.
So that was the biggest treat of it all because I knew I was going for Marvel, so that was obviously
Sure.
great. But I did not know that Sandman and everybody was there. Neil Gaiman was there, so I was just like,
man. Speaking of just the year in review, like this year, whether all right, if we just take our opinions out of it, right? Like our personal opinions on the shows themselves, this year for shows and movies has been a banner year.
Yeah,
like,
it really has.
The boys season. This is season 3, right?
Yeah, they're on season 3. I'm only on season 2, but I heard the season 3 was incredible.
Sandman, fucking
Andor,
Moon Knight, Andor, Kenobi, like it.
Yeah,
it was a hell of a year.
I enjoyed all of it. I really did.
I mean, you're like me. Oh, Hall H. Tell them what Hall H is. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Sorry. So I was just kind of describing the process. So Hall H is like it's like the big preview thing for San Diego Comic-Con. It's pretty much like the main show of San Diego Comic-Con. If you're going there for panels, like everybody has their thing that they go to cons for, but if you're going to San Diego, it's more of a media industry con. It's not like in the traditional sense, like going to like a swap meet convention or something like that. No. I mean, you could find stuff there to do in the exhibit hall and stuff. That's what preview night is for. It's like the day before the actual event starts.
But Artist Alley's pretty stacked in San Diego, right?
Yeah. Well, the whole exhibit hall is crazy stacked. Like you're bound to find something there that you'll buy. But that's not really what you go for. That's not what the majority of people go for. The majority of people go actually just to go into this Hall H thing. And it's like they have Hall H is in of itself just a hall. But Hall H, when everybody says like, "Oh, we're going to Hall H this year," they're talking about Saturday. They're talking about whoever the players are.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense
that are going to be there, and so it is. It's just like the biggest companies, the biggest media companies, they bring their A game. They bring all the previews. That's where all the announcements for like Infinity War happened. That whole Infinity Saga. So leading up to all that. That's where they bring up all the celebrities, all the actors and everything come up and they show the trailers. That's the big thing is you get to see the trailers before anybody else. And they're like, they have like Navy personnel in there making sure that you don't have your cameras out. Like straight up down the aisles. Like I was really up front too. I got really lucky. I got a really good group, like a line group. And so I was up in the front and it's just line. Like when Marvel comes on, they take it very seriously. I think they have their own security.
Yeah.
So the entire aisles are just lined with security guards, and they have like these like weird UV flashlights, and it bounces back if there's a camera. If it hits a camera.
Yeah. Wow.
Because it senses the ray or whatever, or the certain kind of radar that comes out of a camera.
That's nuts. I mean, they take the spoiler stuff seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to San Diego. I might go one year, but I feel like I should have gone 10 years ago, back when I used to go to like comic conventions.
I heard it was way different.
Yeah.
Too back then. It wasn't all about this. Now it's honestly just become about Hall H.
Of course.
For a lot of people. But I actually like it, not even for that. Obviously, I loved Hall H, but I went and I just love being in San Diego. I think it's one of my favorite cities.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing like just something that takes over an entire city. That's what's so special about it to me is like you walk anywhere in San Diego, and San Diego's a massive city.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you walk anywhere, it's Comic-Con. There's cosplayers, there's nerds, there's actors, like you could be sitting next to like my favorite story from it is my most regrettable story from it is I went to like a dive bar with my friend that lives down there, an old brother from my fraternity days, and yeah, Gaslamp Quarter is amazing, and that's what I'm saying. It just takes over that whole area. So we went to this dumpy little dive bar, like off the beaten tracks, and I'm just sitting there, and we're trying to order a drink or whatever, and I keep looking over at this girl, and I'm just like, that looks uncannily like fucking Katie Sackhoff. And I'm just like, I mean, I should say something. And lo and behold, it absolutely was Katie Sackhoff, but I didn't say anything. But I'm like, I could have just struck up a conversation with Katie, and it would have been totally chill. But like, that's the kind of stuff that you get to do when San Diego comes in, and that's the kind of stuff I love. So yeah, that's what it is, Joe. I had to wear this hat because you were wearing the sweater.
Yeah, I don't do holiday sweaters, but this was a gift from my buddy, and I have to because it's awesome.
And it's nice, and it looks coming on you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't you use that word with me. So did you pick up anything at San Diego? Like that was like a book that you wanted or anything like that?
I actually didn't buy any books at San Diego.
You got me the Sienkiewicz and yourself the sketchbook.
That's where I was trying to find that Sienkiewicz Dr. Doom book. Yeah, that's in my room somewhere, but you probably have it actually.
No, I don't.
Oh,
the Sienkiewicz Dr. Doom.
No, the sketchbook.
Yeah, it's in one of the magazine boxes. I mean, if I had pulled everything out that I wanted to show off, we'd be here for 12 hours.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. But no, like that's not. I mean, I made it in my mission to go to Hall H this year, so I kind of was like wrapped around all that. But yeah, I picked up a few like the Mandalorian ones, like they had. I tried picking up as many exclusives as I could. The only one I missed out on, the one that I really wanted, was the Todd McFarlane, the Spawn #1, the sketch gold.
The gold one, yeah. Then I haven't even seen any of those for sale. They were probably so limited.
They were limited to 1,500, but I mean 1,500 at San Diego Comic-Con is
it's like 2. Yeah, it's like 2.
So
let's see. You have any books you want to show off? I
pulled a few.
All right. I'm going to show this one off because I don't have a video to go with this one, but I did get it at a garage sale. You ever heard of this guy, Dude Pool?
Dude Pool.
Yeah. This is a New Mutants 98.
Doo-doo Pool.
Doo-doo Pool. New Mutants 98 newsstand. So this is
like
actually
your 19th one.
Yeah, but this is my only 9.8.
That's true.
This is a really ridiculous story. I found a garage sale on Craigslist, and it was like 28 miles away. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I got up. I started driving out. It starts raining. And it was like beginning of the summer. So it's like in the Northwest, you still get that residual like, oh, it could rain, you know? And then it gets to a point where it just stops raining for 2.5 months. But it starts raining like 5 minutes before I was, Google Maps told me I was going to get there, and I drove by it and there was nothing outside. And I was so pissed off because I was like, it took me 45 minutes to get out there. And and so I pull over to this church parking lot, and I
light on fire.
No, and I think I emailed the guy, or I emailed him. I was like, hey, is the garage sale still going on? I mean, I'm already out here. And I sat there for like 10 minutes, just, refreshing my email, whatnot. And the guy's like, yeah, he's like, we canceled it because of the rain, but if you want, you just stop by. So I turn the car around, I pull up, and I go outside. The dude's got the garage open, comes out. He's like, what were you looking for? I was like, oh, I wanted to look at the comics. And he's like, oh, all right. And he starts bringing out like these crates of comics and stuff. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden I hear some yelling from inside. And he's like, oh, it's my fucking sister. And they start screaming at each other, but so fast that I was like, these people are on fucking coke. You know, they were just like, I was just like,
maybe they were actually just singing a System of a Down song.
that could be. Neither of them look like Darren Malenkian and Serge Tankian, but it could have been like, wake up! What are you doing with these comics? Do you want to sell these comics? Comics! What do you want to sell these comics? Comics! I don't want to fucking sell the comics! Comics! I'm getting the fuck out of here! Comics! Comics! You know, so it was like that. And they were screaming at each other.
That's so funny.
And I'm just like, so I like keep looking through the books and I'm like going through the New Mutants books. I'm like, you know, like I didn't want to alert them that I found anything. So I was just like, okay, there's there's the 98.
It probably played out like a Curb Your Enthusiasm scene. Like,
it was.
You're just picking through, like looking at them, and they're just screaming at each other.
And she's like, I don't want to sell the comics. I don't want to. What do we sell these comics for? And I was just like, how much do you want? How much do you want for all the comics? And like, he's like, hold on. And she like screams at him. Then she leaves. She's like, I'm sorry. She like stops. And she says, I'm sorry to me. And she's like, he'll deal with you. And then she just leaves. And I think I bought all their comics for like $300.
Oh my God. All that for that.
Yeah. And you know, I was fine with it because I saw this. And then there was like a bunch of other stuff, you know, a couple Spawn ones, a couple Spider-Man ones. But what was weird is she had there was part of this collection that was either missing or she only collected like issues 1 and 2, but like the number ones weren't in, you know, like I got some number ones and then I never saw number 2s. And then I got some number 2s. I never saw number 1s because there was another huge book that I still need. There's this like Image Comics bought the Crow property at some point from Caliber to publish it. And McFarlane did a cover for one of those books. And it's like super hard to find. Yeah, it's super hard to find and expensive. And it should have been in there because all the other ones were in there.
Oh, interesting.
Anyway, I gave this book to Maddie. He pressed it. He cleaned it. And I got the 9.8 on a newsstand. And yeah, I did get about 7 of these this year, though. And this was
it's those and the Batman Adventure 12s that you always grab.
This was a goal book for me this year because last year I wasn't able to find one for $1. And then like over the course of this year, I got, you know, like 6 of them for
pretty much that price. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got?
Silly stuff. I don't know. I put a little piles aside. Speaking of Tom, we'll start with this. Tom McFarlane. I didn't even know this book existed. I actually think it's fun, but I got this at LA Comic Con.
Oh wow! Oh, sorry.
It's actually a Tom McFarlane, Greg Capullo.
Yes, and it is the cover for the Disturbed album, 10,000 Fists.
10,000 Fists. It's actually really cool. I was like reading it when I picked it up, and it's like really nice. It's a full wraparound too.
I was gonna get that. I saw it somewhere, and I was just like, I don't need it. And then I need it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It says cover art by somewhere. Oh, right there. Cover art by Todd and Greg Capullo.
Very cool. Well, you know, so for that album, which is their 1, 2, 3, fourth
studio, yeah.
Yeah, he did the Todd did the video for their cover for Land of Confusion by Genesis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Disturbed, the king of metal covers, in my opinion. But
man, you know, I agree with you, except I agree with you. Their first album, they did Shout, and then they didn't do one for their second album, but then their third album
did Land of Confusion. And then no, not for their third album.
What was the third album?
It wasn't that was too early for Sound of Silence.
No, but Sound of Silence, believe it or not, that song is like, I think it's in the 500 million
their
Spotify
cover of
club. Yeah, like I think it's in the 500 million club.
I believe it. I mean, yeah, that I wouldn't know what their third album is. You'd have to look that one up.
Yeah,
their cover is, but
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was reading what they were saying too.
To Flush and Spider, yeah, 100%. The number 2s and number 4s obviously are usually the best. But the comics that were in this collection were mostly like 90s. So there was Turok number 1 and 2 and, you know, stuff like that. It wasn't, you know, that was definitely the best book out of
That's pretty sick though.
Let's see. Do I have anything to coincide with the clip? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do. Oh, so you know what? Since Spider's in here, let me just show this one off first. And then we'll get to another clip. It's a clip show, guys.
Clip show.
So Spider had asked me. He didn't know that I had this book, and I'll just save it here for now, and then we'll go into it. But
It better be high grade for Spider.
yeah. Oh, whoa! Hold on. Hello,
Hey,
Maddie.
Davey, every.
I like your
Well,
reindeer ears.
shit.
Is that why it took you
Thanks.
so long? Is you were trying to find the reindeer ears?
I was trying to find the reindeer ears. I was trying to change the batteries for these bad boys, but I can't get them to light up. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
right.
You got your tree behind you. Is that a Christmas bush or a Hanukkah?
This is a Crimbus bush.
Crimbus.
Yeah, you got to trim the bush every season.
Always trim the bush.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. If you don't, it just gets hairy.
It's true.
It grows like
Not a pretty
wildfire.
sight.
No. Well, this is fun. Maddie, what? Well, okay. Aside from the congratulations, by the way, I haven't seen your face.
Oh my gosh!
It's
There it
baby.
is.
Aww.
Near mint minus.
L-E-A. No, spell your son's name again.
Laith. Laith.
L-A. Leith. Okay, I was gonna go L-E-A-T-H, but I was wrong.
What's
Best
that named
pickup.
after?
Best pickup of the year, hands down.
What's Laith named after?
Laith is a Arabic name that means little lion cub.
Oh,
It
I
also
was-
exists in Gaelic, I believe.
that's cool.
Doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't exist in Gaelic, but
I
that's
do.
okay. Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Every Kilagawa.
So it's the end of the year in review, and you know, these are two people, for those of you that don't know, these are two people who I very much appreciate as friends and also respect as not just people in the comic community and sellers, but just people in general. And Maddie's definitely, you know, partially responsible for where I am right now in growing this thing, because he's helped me so much. And I was told to call Maddie one day and, you know, just talk to him. And sure enough, we're old folks, so he picked up the phone and talked to me.
Oh yeah, I love a good phone call.
Yeah,
It's a lost art. It's
It
a
is.
lost art, the phone
It is.
conversation. Yeah.
it is.
Who match made us, Davey? Do you remember who
It was
introduced us?
Mike. It was Gray Man.
Oh, Grey
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Cheers to Grey Man.
Cheers to Gray Man.
Happy Crimbus to Grey Man.
Flush. I don't think that works, but I'm not sure what you were trying to share.
Flush is just posting clips of.
Is he the hot girls person now? Is he posting hot girls clips?
Yeah, he's posting XXX. Look at
Yeah.
here, arrow.
Flush has become a bot.
He's
A
also
Russian
got a
bot.
wrench, so it's kind of weird. Maybe he's got
He's taking it down from the inside.
That's right, he is.
Mm.
Maddie, did you have anything like yeah, you don't have to show anything off besides the kid, obviously, but was there anything that you like big pickup for you this year that you got that you were just like your highlight of 2022?
These are a couple of good ones. I happen to have one box of comics with me, exactly one.
There you go.
Because I now, you know, my business in collection is all in another, it's all off site now, which
Sure.
is basically across town, like 15 minutes on the other side of Providence. So it's not like far.
In the bricked up dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
With the metal bands.
But like now that I have the kid, it might as well be the other side of the country because I cannot leave the house at the moment.
Yeah.
So I just have this one box that I just made some claim posts with and stuff on my site. But there were a couple books I looked at that I decided not to sell, and they were, at least not right now, they were Silver Surfer number 3.
Ooh.
One of my favorites.
What do you do when Silver Surfer's coming?
You got to call Galactus. You got to
Nice.
call Galactus.
You gotta call Mephisto.
No,
You
that
got to
too.
call Mephisto.
Mephisto.
And then accompanied by Silver Surfer number 4.
Ooh.
So, you know what's interesting, Davey? That I had a copy of this. I have kind of a saga with this book
Mhm.
because it's one of my favorite covers for obvious reasons. I'm a Silver Surfer fan, and I've never really had like the copy that I wanted to keep for my collection because I like bought a sketchy copy off a sketchy guy on Facebook that said he was better than it was, and I was bummed about it. I overpaid, and then I ended up being in Seattle before I knew you, and I found it in that shop in the basement of what's that famous Lauren? Is it
Oh,
Pike?
at Pike Place at Golden Age Collectibles.
That's it.
Mm.
So I picked up a copy there and I was like, whoa, this is way underpriced. And it was like the manager's copy. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy this one and sell my crappy one and upgrade essentially. But fast forward a year later, I just got the grade back on that and it's restored. So
Oh,
so that might have been why he underpriced it, because maybe he knew it was restored, but he did not
Probably.
disclose that.
What was it restored with though? Like just a little bit of color touch?
Probably, but it's hard to say. I don't even have the copy back. I used this service. This was over a year ago now. Captured Collectibles. There, you see them at a lot of cons. They're
Yeah,
sort of
they
like
think-
CGC facilitators. And so I, for whatever strange reason, I submitted through them at the time, and they still have the book, and they're like, yeah, we're going to look into it for you, see if we can get resto removal done. I'm like, I don't even want to bother with this anymore.
yeah.
Meanwhile, I have this beautiful copy that, you know, if this one isn't restored, this one could be like a 6.0. So I'm probably going to grade this and just like move the purple whenever I get that back, you know.
I might take the purple one off you.
Nice, nice.
There we
I'll
go.
let you know when I get it.
Flush, I can't click on that. It doesn't let me do anything. Funny, I got both of those books this year, and I'm still waiting for them to come back. They're being pressed and clean, but I just got offered. I didn't get to talk to you about this, Maddie. I just got offered an 8.5, but there's no price on it of a number one, an 8.5 on a number one.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's an expensive book. I just got offered some books that I don't know if I even want to try and make an offer, because I don't like it when people are like, "Well, let me know what you want to pay," because you don't want to know what I want to pay. You don't.
I'm gonna offend you.
$50.
Yeah, exactly. Give me it $50 a book. I don't care.
Yep.
You know.
No,
Yeah. But
I'm
those
negotiating with a
books.
guy right now on Facebook who's like listing a collection, and I can't tell if he's new or what, but like he's like, you know, he's got one of those TLZ spreadsheets, and he's like, even just my Star Wars run is worth $3,500, and this he's like, you know, his Star Wars 42 is listed as a 9.8. I'm like, it's not a 9.8, dude.
Unless it's actually a physical 9.8.
No, because you can put raw. You can put raw and then estimated grade.
Yeah, exactly. What was your Avery? Was there anything you want to show us, or should I do one?
Yeah, you do one. You were gonna do one, and then Maddie hopped in.
Yeah, well, I love Maddie.
I know,
but he did interrupt me, so let's get him out of here. No, I'm just
no.
So Dave and I, other Dave, Diggin' Dave, we go to this flea market in close to his house, and there was a garage sale there last year. And we went, and Dave found that was a Fantastic 457, that great Doom cover. He got it for like $3. So in January, I was back there at that flea market, and that same person was having another garage sale with their friend that brings comics. And so we went, and this time I got the $3 book that was worth way more than it should have been, and it's this. Boom. Got a Green Lantern 76 for $3, and then Damon from Bronze Age Batcave pressed it, cleaned it. I mean, it was already sitting at probably like a 6.0, 6.5, and it came back a 7.0. And it's just wild to think that the same person, same garage sale, yielded two amazing, clean Silver Age books for $3.
Is that the book that ushers in the Bronze Age? Is that what that?
Yeah. So
sweet.
First team up of Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams, the classic cover, and this ushered in the Bronze Age. Signifies the end of the Silver.
Does CGC note that?
It doesn't, but it's kind of widely known. Like the two.
Yeah, no, it is. I just was curious if they noted it.
CGC won't exactly. That's
how dare they?
Baby Leaf
Laith
knows exactly what
Laith
CGC
knows.
Laith
knows the CGC.
I gotta remember.
I'm gonna mute myself and you guys keep chatting. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. But yeah, so this signifies the end of the Silver, and then like kind of at the same time, Conan 1 supposedly signifies the beginning of the Bronze.
Yeah, exactly.
So two great books, but this one, like my brother grew up a Green Lantern fan. That's what he read when we were kids, and and so like this book has always kind of been like eye candy for me. Like I remember seeing it, and now, you know, it's funny. I was originally going to sell this when I got it. I think I put it up at like 1 or 2 claim sales, and I'm like, why would I sell this?
Yeah,
like,
it's for $3, like to get something like that, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, great book, great price, great cover. All right, so let's throw another clip in. We're gonna get
Yeah.
a little crowded here for a sec, actually.
Baby
Baby cuteness.
cuteness all over.
Exactly. All right, so actually no, wait. Let's do this one first. January was a big month for me this year, and it coincided with me getting my first car since I moved out of New York, and so I was able to like go get collections and stuff like that. But I posted an ad that I was buying comics on. I don't know, it was probably Craigslist, and a guy in my neighborhood was like, "Hey, I've got some Golden Age books and stuff like that," and or he didn't say Golden Age, but it's like my dad's comic collection. And so I went over his house and I start looking at the books, and it was like Archie and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm just like, I don't know anything about Golden Age. This was about a year ago. 11 months ago. And so I said, look, I don't know what you want for all this. I really don't know what it's worth. And I was being as honest as I could, because like if it was Golden Age superhero books, it'd be one thing. But when it's like war books and, cartoon books, I'm like, that it's so tough to find a market for this.
There's so much crap on this.
Yeah.
Like, the good stuff. Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know. I was like, look, what if I made a pile based on covers? Because we walked around, he like had them all laid out on these 8-foot tables. He's like, what if I just pick some stuff out that looked fun and we come up with a price? It's like, sure. So I pick up like 25 books. I was like, what, like $150. He's like, sure. So I get home, I sit down and I start looking through the stuff. I do it in front of the camera, but one of the books that we laughed about was this Archie 55, because like, Archie's on the couch with Veronica. They're about to kiss, and Veronica's dad's like, "Oh, did Archie get there yet?" And she's like, "Not yet, Daddy. Not quite, Daddy." Bob Montana cover. I had it press and clean, but it didn't really need much pressing and cleaning. Yeah. 1952 came back as a 9.2.
It's nuts.
Not only the only one above 8.5 on the census, but the only one that exists in a 9.2. It's the highest on the census by 2 points. One of the cool things about this book too is I did a little research. It's the first art that Neil Adams ever submitted to be a comics professional, but it wasn't the first one that was published. Yeah. So
that's still kind of cool though.
Yes.
Especially for someone like Neil Adams. Yeah.
Yeah. And a very sought after book. But let's show the clip. I'm going to show the clip of what happened when I started looking through the books. Maddie, I'm just going to remove you from the stream real quick, but you're not gone. Don't worry. All right. Let's throw this.
But not forgotten.
Yeah, you'll be back on. Extra camera video. Okay. So I see the thumbs up. So this is me going through the books for the first time, opening them up and taking a look at them. And this is what happened. This is in beautiful condition. Oh my God. Holy shit. Okay, so we're talking about a Golden Age book from Atlas with a double cover. I mean, this is like pulling gold out of your own ass. And if you're not a leprechaun. Anyway, 1952 double cover Young Men on the Battlefield. So yeah, I did not like. Had I known the stuff that I actually had pulled out of his collection, what I was pulling out at the time, I would have bought everything, because like everything was high grade.
Yeah.
And then I find this double cover Young Men on the Battlefield.
That's crazy. Double cover coming back in 8.5 too.
Yeah, at 8.5 exactly. It's not like a big, book of note. I mean, it's a Gene Colan. It's got some Gene Colan art. It's a Joe Manili cover, but yeah, it's a one of a kind.
Yeah.
So, but I just need to find the proper place to sell this. Probably Heritage or something like that.
Yeah, or just somebody that collects that kind of stuff. Like, it's such a niche thing.
Yeah. It's just it's wild to think that a double cover not only stood the test of time and stayed in one piece, but it's such a high grade. And
yeah, that's nuts.
It's just a shame. Like I emailed that guy like 2 more times, and I was like, hey, I'd love to, because he told me his brother had the other half of his dad's collection, and he's like, oh, let me connect you two, but he never replied to any of my emails. I don't know if he had like seller's remorse
or got wise to it or something.
Yeah, but there wasn't anything to get wise to, because like at the time when I bought this stuff, I didn't know what I was looking at, because I was very green on Golden Age.
This was before you got that big Golden Age lot, right?
This was before that. Like the other Golden Age lot came over the summer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which had another double cover.
That's right. Yeah.
I had a fucking Uncle Scrooge double cover.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, this was. I mean, like,
that's crazy.
This is wild. Absolutely wild.
Yeah. You're like the definition of lightning striking twice, most cases.
Well, we got the finale of the night when the fines is really the lightning striking, hitting me right in the balls.
Yeah.
So you guys remember this one? This was more recent. I guess my biggest. I don't know. Is this the best book I found this year?
I would say so. I mean, I think it's probably the one because you were just debating it for so long because I think of how much it meant to you.
Yeah.
The ASM 120. I was gonna bring that up too. I was like,
yeah,
we're getting more hype than you freaking out over that. But
we're getting to that.
But the Albedo 2 is like that was like I remember we were on the phone and you were just like, I've been wanting this book for a long time. Like stuff like that. So, I think for what it means to you, I think
Yeah, this was wild to
and that's a ghost.
Yeah, I mean 2,000 or 3,000 copies exist. It's roughly the same print run as the first Turtles book. But this one was a great pickup. This was that collection that I found and I was looking through it. Maddie, just let me know when you're jumping back on. I can see you anyway when you jump back on.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, like this was wild because like I went to go look at this collection and I was at the dude's house and I didn't know he was drunk at the time. He ends up going to rehab the next day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm looking through it and I see Albedo 1 and there's like 3, 4, 5, 6. And I just looked at him. He was like standing like 2 feet away from me. And I was just like, so where's the number 2? And it was like the blood just went right out of his face. Because he's like, how did you know I had it? I was like, because you have all the others.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think?
Yeah, and he said him and his wife or him and his fiance didn't know what it was until the night before, which I believe him. Anyway, I ended up buying the like 2 long boxes in this book for $5,000. Yeah, and all the stuff in the long boxes made up for this. And then
that's good. That was a crazy big weekend for you too. That was when you got the Dark Horse Star Wars too.
That's right, the Dark Horse Star. I mean. Like the whole thing about me going over this is more for just kind of like keeping, like I'm glad that everybody's here tonight. I'm glad you're here tonight. But this whole thing is to kind of like give myself a little bit of a log of what I did in my first year of this venture. I don't know what to call it.
Sure.
And now like coming on to this next year of the West Coast Adventures, to see how I can top it.
It's all downhill from here, bud.
Right. It could be all downhill from here. I might not pick up a collection for 6 months. I might not see, another Golden Age book. Well, just gotta.
You have a nose for it, and it's not because you're Jewish, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but really, it's like I don't know. You just like I tell my friend all the time, the one that got me into comics. I tell him all the time. I'm like, this guy that lives up in Seattle too. He lives in Mill Creek, and he's just like, he's like, some people just just comes to them.
Is his name Tom?
No, it's true. Oh no. First name Comic, last name Tom.
Tom.
Fortunately not.
I don't know.
That's the worst shop in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, there's a reason why I've never been there because I've heard nothing but crappy things about it.
He brought me in to laugh at it. I was like,
13 people in the room. I think it's time to do my first giveaway of the night. But it comes with a trivia question. Avery, you're allowed to
No.
This. All right. So I'm going to give away, what am I giving away first? I'm giving away, you're going to actually be very happy with what I'm about to give away. For anybody watching, all you got to do is be the first person to get a correct answer on this. And you're going to win the second trade paperback of Sandman, The Doll's House, which is some people's favorites. It does include, it starts off with the first appearance of Death in issue number 8. And if you've never read Sandman, you can actually start here. Like you could read there you go. You could actually read a synopsis and start here because this is where it gets really good. All right, so here we go. To enter this, you just have to be the first person to answer this question. You got to name an artist. Who is the artist that did this Marvel? Actually, I'll hold it here. Marvel Universe Series 2 Punisher card. Who is the artist? He is a big name in comics, and he is somebody that I love. I'm going to put that as close as I can. Name the artist on this. You've got first person answer without cheating. Don't cheat.
Mm.
And if you could take a guess, I mean, he's a Marvel artist from the 90s. I'll give you that. Oh, of course Jason's going to name that because it's one of his favorite artists. And
Yeah,
that's
that was
Jason.
good. He was
Eric
quick
Larson.
with it too.
Yeah, he did. He was. All right, Jason, that's all yours.
Hey,
Close,
Dollhouse is
Amanda.
amazing.
It's Eric Larson right there. Let's
There
put
it
that
is.
in there.
I'm not giving this away. I'm just showing it off.
All right, Jason, thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate you answering that so quickly. I don't know if we lost Maddie for now, but
He's got a baby.
He's allowed to come back in whenever he wants.
Absolutely.
Let me see. I just got to look and see. I only invited 2 other people in here.
Hey,
and
that's a sweet one.
Let's see if he replied. Nope, he's not. Okay.
No.
All right. So, big
That's
chest.
a good one.
There we go.
Big chest confused me. Yeah, that bit. Yeah. Eric Larson does have some big chests in his art.
He does. He does. I mean, the 90s were a big chest.
But see, he has big chest Punisher, and then Liefeld has big chest Cap.
Everybody. Cable, big chest Cable. Let's see if I have.
That's true. Too.
You want to? Okay. Avery's here, so let's just. I'm not even going to tell you what this is. I'm just going to post the clip. You guys need a laugh. Here's a laugh.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Yeah. I have STDs. They're from. I had sex with Clayton Crane. All right. Well,
hey, that's a good way to stop it, right there.
Every once in a while, this guy, Comic Tim, he comes into my sales, and he always has something to say. And I don't love him. I don't. But
he's genuinely one of the funniest things I've ever.
He's part of it. He's part of it. Look, he's part of this.
Absolutely. He's a big part of it.
So let's talk about my. This was a fun one. After I went to that Packwood flea market thing in Washington, I met somebody in a non-sexual way. I met somebody who told me his wife had just bought like 11 long boxes, and they were in like they have this warehouse in north of Seattle, and he's like, give her a call and ask if you could come look at the boxes. She probably wants to sell them all. Shout out to Acetate Gate and Clayton. We'll get to that too.
Yeah, what a year. You have to include that in a year in review.
Yeah. So I went to this woman's warehouse. I looked through all 14 boxes, whatever it was, 12 long boxes of comics, and I filmed it. But therein lied my single biggest Marvel McFarlane Grail. And I picked it up for $1.
That's right.
It's that G.I. Joe. So this, I passed up on getting this at a flea market in
Bay Area.
In Bay Area. Guy had a graded copy, and I was like, this needs a press, but this is such a rare gem, and it's like such an interesting piece of McFarlane's history.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the story about it?
About how you grabbed this one?
No, about this comic.
Yeah. Because I know the story about it, but
he does a fill-in issue 60 for G.I. Joe. Mm-hmm. And then I think he goes to do another one, and Larry Hama hated the fucking book.
Yeah,
and since Hama is Mr. G.I. Joe, not only writing the comics, but creating the modern day G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Marvel was like, all right. And so they shit canned the issue, and after McFarlane left, they reprinted it. They printed it for the first time, and then they had I don't know who Goster is, but this guy do an homage or a spoof.
An homage. You mean a direct ripoff of it?
Direct ripoff. Yeah, and this is an expensive book. Like if this was a 9.8, I think it's close to like $1,000 in a 9.8.
Yeah, easily.
But it's
hard to get in high grade too.
Very well, because like it comes out of like this one's not in good grade. I mean, I got to get this pressed just for preservation, but you can see it's kind of
Yeah.
But there's no color breaking on it, so it should be an easy press.
That's not bad, man. It's the
But I'm
weird
stoked.
texture of the paper, though. It's the back. Anytime there's like a not white back, it's really hard to hide stuff.
Yeah, and it's shitty paper. This is
Yeah.
peak Marvel 90s shitty
Yeah,
paper.
that glossy crap paper.
But yeah, that was a fun one. Like I looked through those comics. I spent like an hour and a half looking through everything. I missed some stuff, but I did get a Saga 1 in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those days where I spent like I handed that lady like $350 and got like $2,500 worth of comics. And she told me when I paid, she said I'm like $50 away from breaking even. And she still had all those boxes left. So she probably
that's right, yeah.
So I told her, I was like, if you're selling these books for $1 a piece, she's like, yeah, I'll probably do that. I'm like, you're gonna make, you know, 3,000 or 4,000 more dollars. She's like, that's great. So
yeah,
I try to do that, and for anybody that doesn't know how I operate, I always try and make sure that I'm like being as honest with the person as like they want me to be. It's how we operate as humans. People don't want you to be 100% honest. They also don't want you to lie 100% of the time. They want that in between. They want to feel good. But what I found this nice area is that when I'm buying collections from people, they want to make sure that these books are going to someone who gives a shit. And I tell them, I'm like, look, I don't keep everything, but I keep the stuff I really want, and then I sell the rest to people that really want it. And it's funny because like you'll appreciate this, and Flush and everybody else that has watched the stuff with Jim Healy. Jim basically wanted me to take care of selling his collection because he wanted it all to go to good homes and good places, and like that's what I'm doing.
Yep.
I'm giving everybody these books at prices that they can afford, and everybody's really getting stuff they want. So I try to make sure that people know that like, yes, I do sell, but
goes a long way.
Yeah, I'm not just like selling it in a shop. I'm not selling it on eBay. Some of you people in here are friends. Some of you people are getting to know me. I'm getting to know you. So, I don't want people to think that I'm like walking in and just like ripping everybody off. Only happens to people I don't like.
I was gonna say a lot of people do though. A lot of people like gloat about that too. They like gloat about their collections, or like, I got this for free. They didn't even know what they had. I'm like, that's not fair though. Like that, like if you're gonna do that, that's cool. Congratulations, but don't gloat about it.
Right. I mean, like
weird and bad.
Yeah, keep it to yourself. Like the woman who came to my garage sale and sold me the Spider-Man, I was like, look, it's probably worth this. I'll give you this. Are you okay with it? She said, you like this comic that much? You're going to give me $300? That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I did with my second big collection. It was just like, they were like, we went to a shop already and they gave us this price. And I was just like, that's really low. Like, she was like, well, she's like, you're not, and then because the guy was trying to sell it to me. And then the girl was like, you're not supposed to say that if you're trying to buy it. I was like, well, sure. But I was like, that is low. I was like, you could get a lot more for it. Like, I would pay more for it because I know what's in here and I know it and stuff like that. And that was probably a big reason. She messaged me afterwards. She was like, that was a big reason why we sold it to you, is because, just how you were and how honest you were. So
I've gotten that
a lot further than people think. So
yeah, I mean, honesty is easily the best way. Like I said, you don't want to be 100% honest with people because then that scares people.
Yeah, sure.
I posted something on looking for a collection the other day, and the person's like, can I ask, are you a dealer? And I replied with, I sell the stuff I don't want. I buy collections and keep the stuff I do want. And she never replied to me, and I'm definitely going to post a comment that says something like, I guess I failed your moral test.
Yeah, you didn't pass the litmus test on that.
And it does boggle me. Like, I've been buying and selling things my entire life, and mostly in the collectible space. It boggles my mind when people are like, well, I don't want to sell it to you if you're just going to sell it. What the fuck are you doing? You're selling it.
Yeah.
If I want to take all the comics that I buy from you, light them on fire, what does it matter? And not saying that I'm going to.
Yeah.
It's just like, it is kind of weird when people are like, well, are you going to keep this? Like, I feel like sometimes that I need to tell these people, and it's very rare where I come across somebody like this, but I'm like, yes, you know what? I plan on being buried with every single one of my belongings, including this comic that I'm going to buy from you.
Right. Exactly.
Let's
people are funny.
Yeah, people are funny, and I get it. Like some people want their stuff to go, Anyway, speaking of Jim, if yeah, I just gotta play this.
Oh, please.
Comic Tim, damn it!
And Jim was such a good sport about this, and I will be seeing Jim again.
I love the cereal one. The cereal one was my best.
Oh, cereal one was really good, and then I sped up the running away
battling that you did.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the big garage sale. The garage sale heard around the world, and
yes.
I'm bummed that Joe's not here to talk about it, but Joe did come up big. First off, this garage sale, this is I found this thing last minute, and the guy had posted a photo, and the only thing that was in that photo that made me think I should go to this garage sale was this book.
That's right.
Just an X-Men #2.
Super casual.
Yeah, like I found it like on Facebook, and Steve's a friend now, the guy who I bought this from. Like,
I've been back to him a few times.
Multiple times, and he's a good dude. He posted on Facebook at like 9:00 on Friday night, garage sale tomorrow. This is in here. And he knew what he was doing. He 100% knew what he was doing. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I text Joe. I'm like, dude, you got to come down. It was just south of Seattle. It was by the airport.
Oh,
I was like, dude, you got to meet me tomorrow. That's the type of thing with me and Joe. It's just like, he's not my competition because we work well together when we're digging. But I was like, I would have felt horrible if I didn't tell Joe about this garage sale.
Right.
And so I was like, dude, you got to come down tomorrow. We got to get to this garage sale. I'm going to be there. Like, it started at 9. I'm like, I'm going to be there at 7:30 in the morning. I don't care. And so he's like, all right, guess so. And I'm like, this book is for me. And I joked, and we joked about it. I'm like, you get the Hulk 181. There was no picture of a Hulk 181.
Sure.
So we get there, and dude starts pulling up in the house in front of me, and I was like, fuck, he's here for the garage sale. So I parked in a better spot because I'm smarter. And I got out of the car, and I'm standing there, and me and Joe are standing there, and then this dude, Brad, walks over. And you guys might know Brad by a different name. He's the Weasel. Yeah. So he's this like skinny, geeky guy, just like, all he could talk about was like, as long as we're all like normal about this, nobody pushes, nobody runs. I'm like, dude, I'm here with my friend. I'm not going to push you out of the way to get to comics.
We're just going to kill you.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, I weigh 40 pounds more than you, and I could break you like a twig. I'm not that person. And so that's all he talked about. And then Steve comes out, starts setting up the boxes. We're, having friendly banter. I didn't know his name was Steve yet. And I said, I messaged you about the X-Men. Oh, he's like, that was you. I'm like, yeah, I really want that book. And so I was like, and I have it on video where I'm like, just let us know when we can start looking. He's like, come over. And that dude, Brad, starts running. And you see me in the video go like you could see me shrug, like, what's this guy doing? Running. There's 3 of us here. Anyway, let's just say I caught the best part of it on tape. You guys are about to see the official original clip of when I grabbed the Hulk #4, and this dude, Brad, the Weasel, thought that he could have it after he's like, I'm done looking at these boxes. Here we go. The clip heard around the world.
Oh, there's tons in
I'm going to grab that.
What's that?
I'm going to grab that.
Okay.
And just like that. Let's watch that one more time.
Right, they're all in here. Oh, there's tons in
I'm going to grab that.
What's that?
I'm going to grab that.
It's crazy how fast his hand goes in there.
Yeah.
I'm legit. I'm pretty sure every single person that watched it thought it was fake.
I know. Well, let's just watch it one more time. I love this clip. It doesn't make me angry anymore.
Oh, there's tons in
I'm going to grab that.
What's that?
I'm going to grab that.
He has the fucking audacity to say, "What's that?"
Yeah. Okay,
What do
let's
you
let's get to some comments. Hold on. How many times has the Circle of Sellers bought and sold comics? That's right, Flush. And then yes, I'm sorry, Amber. I don't know what to tell you. And there you go, Laura. Yeah, that is the Weasel. And I was going through the story. He, and to my credit, and I won't ever boast about my passive, my non-violent nature at that point. But if you look at the comments for that YouTube video, it was split down the middle of like, you should have beat the shit out of that guy, to you held your cool and you got the book. And I did. I ended up getting that book. I sold it to JD. Yeah, exactly, Adam. And that's the thing. Like, are you about to asphyxiate yourself? What's going on here?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang myself. No, sorry, I pointed my charger.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was thinking ahead, and if you guys watch that video, like it's one of my favorite.
It's a really good
videos.
video. I love the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a good story.
It is a good story.
I was thinking playing the long game because I had already talked to this guy, it's Steve, and I didn't know his name at the time, but I talked to him. I was like, "Can we look at your other books?" He's like, "Yeah, when it calms down." If I would have knocked that dude out, I don't think Steve would have let me in his house.
That's true. So you came out a winner, but he was the guy standing right behind it, right?
Yeah. Well, sure. I mean, like, there's yes, that's Steve. That's right behind the box.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take uploaded a set. It's funny, and I'm gonna talk about this for a little bit because there's a lot of different things that like when you and Avery, this is also like just in regular life, when you like recount a story with a friend and like you feel like you're misremembering the details.
Uh-huh.
When me and Joe shot the haul video when we got home, I had said something about him grabbing that book, not knowing that I had it on video. And then when I said something to Joe, I was like, I think I mentioned the Hulk 181 that you got to Steve, and that's why you got it. And sure enough, I'm watching the video again, and I said something to Steve. I'm like, well, the Hulk 181, he's going to want it, so you should just sell it to him.
Uh-huh.
And all this stuff I had backed up on video. It was amazing.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a box,
that's one of my favorite episodes of yours that you put out. I love that one.
I appreciate that. That one is one of my favorites too. And
not just because of the weasel, but that just makes it.
Sure.
There's just so many layers to it. It really is. Mm-hmm. I thought it was Joe at first. I thought it was just like a prank.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Jason pointed out. He was looking through the long box. Before me, and I was right next to him to the left, and I said to him, and I think I have it on video, I said, "Are you done?" And he said, "Yeah." And he walked, and I moved over, and I started looking, and that's when he.
That's what makes it worse.
Yes, yeah.
Is that he already looked through the box if he wanted it.
It is karma. It's totally fucking karma. So we talked to Steve, and he said, "Yeah, come back in like an hour or so, and you guys can come in and look through everything." And he thought the weasel was with us, so he let the weasel in the house to look through his books. So I end up getting this. I end up getting the Hulk 4, which I passed along to JD because there's still another number 4 that's graded that I'm going to get from Steve. So we go into the house. Now, the big book I'm going to show off is not this, but I thought you'd like to see this. I don't know if you have ever seen this. This is something I got from Steve. This is the Archie Goodwin, Al Williamson Star Wars news strip box set.
Oh, I have seen that before. I've never seen the box though. I've seen the contents of it though.
Yeah, these are like the EC reprints because it's a Russ Cochran thing. And these are the original Star Wars newspaper strips that Lucas had basically handpicked Al Williamson to draw.
Yeah.
And the coolest thing about this, it's super limited and it's signed by Williamson, and it's not actually signed by George, but it's signed by Goodwin and Williamson and numbered out of 2,500 copies.
Damn.
And it's just, this is one of these things that Steve has in his closet. And I was just looking through all the books in there and I was like, oh my God, I'd never seen this in person before. And it's just absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
So this was one of the things I got. So I formed a friendship with Steve and I went back to his house and I bought upwards of $12,000 worth of stuff from him. And,
but he gave you good deals on it all. Too.
Exactly. Like I bought a lot of stuff.
When you say that, it's shocking.
Right. But I've made my money back. I broke even on everything. That's the point. Yeah. Like as much as I'm a comic seller, I'm still buying this stuff that I want to keep with the, trying to break even.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it goes back to that story. It's like if people just when people understand that you're just funding the hobby, it makes it all that much more easier, So
yeah, it is, and I do the selling because I'm good at it.
yeah,
That's
too.
this is something I love doing. But here was the thing. So Joe got his 181. He pressed it, he cleaned it, came back a 6.0, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got the choice. Now the Weasel did get some good books. He got the first Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. So was that X-Men 4?
4.
But the book that I got.
No, you got the best one.
This is the one I wanted. This was on my list this year to get.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was a Fantastic Four 48. And when we looked at this book, I knew it was going to grade higher than a mid grade, which, 6.0. I thought it was going to come back a 6.5. I was hoping it was going to come back a 6.5 to match my 49.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I got an X-Men 2, a Hulk 4, a Fantastic 48, all from that garage sale in one day, plus a Secret Wars set. I think I paid, it was a big deal, but I feel like what I paid for this was about $1,500 raw.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at it and I'm like, this is well worth $1,500.
Still scary, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so this year, and that's the thing about this year also. Like, this is, I go from like buying these small collections to like bigger and bigger gambles.
Yeah.
Not even gambles, just bigger and bigger purchases.
Yeah.
And I'm learning and I'm learning and I'm learning, and now I feel like
that one weekend was just crazy for you.
Oh, yeah.
The Albedo weekend is just like nuts.
Right. And I wish that same weekend is when I bought the Star Wars Star Course collection, which was a very emotionally touchy weekend for the people I was buying from. The woman who I bought the Star Wars.
Yeah,
it was her widow, her dead husband's collection. Died about, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, but once again, I told her, I said, look, I'm going to keep some of this stuff and then I'm going to move some of this stuff, but it's going to go to people who really collect and love Star Wars. And I love Star Wars too. So, I was just being honest once again. But with Steve, like after that first day, I was like, hey, I'd love to come back. And I came back and I told him about the show. I told him about the show when I bought this, that he was going to be on YouTube, like this stuff. He's like, that's cool. All that stuff. So, and we have our little inside joke, which is amazing. I didn't even think about this. We have an inside joke. Whenever I had a garage sale this year, because he lurks the garage sale listings on Facebook, I put at the bottom, no Brads allowed.
Oh my God.
And he saw that twice and texted me. He just like, no Brads allowed. Ha ha ha, like laugh.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
But you guys have talked about him though, right? Ever since? Does he regret like letting him in the house after and everything like that? Or?
I mean, he thought that he was with us, so I was like, but that day he was like, yeah, that dude was really fucking weird. He was doing this thing that Joe pointed out, and Joe pointed out he would pull a book out of a box and then go like this, so we couldn't see.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
It's like the weirdest behavior.
When I used to go to Frankenstein's all the time, and I'm not going to name them, but. They're big on IG too, but they always, whenever I used to go to Frankenstein's, it's like a collectible swap meet every single week.
Right.
When I used to go there every week and just try to find books and stuff, I used to always go to this one guy, and he would do that too. And then he would always ask me what I got. I'm like,
so
why does it matter, dude?
Such weird behavior.
I picked up this. So I'm like, okay.
I always love looking at what people get because it's like, I'm not going to attack you for it. I'm going to be like, oh, good pickup.
Yeah, sweet.
You were smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once they put the books down, upside down, they're like, I don't give a shit what you grabbed. But if you want to show it to me, I'll be more than happy to share my excitement with you.
What a weird thing. But I'll say this, that I'm not done buying stuff from Steve. There's still a lot of stuff left there. Not all of it I want, but he also has a closet of unopened Star Wars wax, different boxes. And that's why I have such high-end Star Wars cards that I've been selling here and there.
That's right. Yeah.
But this was oh, look who's back. Hi.
Oh.
Hey guys.
Hey.
How you doing?
You got the baby visual.
Just doing baby duty. You guys go on.
Okay. By the way, it goes without saying, but don't forget, follow MM Comics on Instagram and YouTube, and follow Anti-Hero Comics on Instagram, and soon, in the near future, YouTube.
Definitely.
Say, I did get a lot of Turok #1s. I always get Turok #1s. You can't live without Turok #1s. They're like,
I sleep with one every single night.
yeah, it's
Turok
like
is life.
yeah, it's like when you're playing a video game and you come across like power ups. Turok 1 is a power down, but also a power up.
Mm.
So it's a power down for your collection, but it's power up for your Instagram feed.
Schrodinger's Turok 1.
I creep hard when I see someone with a beautiful boot. Of course. Oh, Crawfish, Adam, Maddie, congratulations to both of
Adam,
you. Not to both.
what's up, man?
That's you. That's you in emoji form.
That is.
Oh,
that
it's
is
me.
you in emoji.
Me?
With more hair though, but it's okay.
Let's see if we got
Nobody's perfect.
Let's see what other clips I brought to the table today that would make us all laugh. Oh, you guys hear about the competing team that just got started, right?
The what?
Huh?
You're about to find out.
East Coast Avengers.
So this is the rivalry going on with the East and West Coast. My parents have started a team called the East Coast Avengers. Neither of them are named Dave.
Doesn't make a goddamn lick of sense.
Yeah,
But
it
they're
doesn't.
they're like parents of Dave, though. They're like,
It's true.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for them, there would be no West Coast.
that's right. I would not exist in any way, shape, or form.
So
This
they
stuff
got
is
you on that.
See, yeah, I totally get that, Flush. Totally, it's not a contest for me. It's a contest for myself to try and like top myself. But
Yeah,
that's it. Like I always want to compete with myself and get better, or get better books or create better content, but not with anybody else.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Careful with the comic curtsy due to the fact that when I was a kid, I did a big no-no and my cousin wanted to kill. Oh, that sounds like a bad comic, traumatizing thing.
What's their channel? I'm subscribing.
It's their channel. It's the East Coast Avengers. What else?
I love that your mom's reading Swamp Thing and she's like, I'm reading about Florida.
Exactly. And then my dad's reading Something is Killing the Children, and
I'm getting some ideas.
My parents, man. All right, so let's talk about the contest, and then let's talk about the big one. The big one's coming, guys. But here's the contest.
I love a big one.
I'm 50 subscribers away from 1,500. I hit 1,450 yesterday, and I want to give this book away, but I need people to promote my channel on Instagram, not on Instagram, on Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, places. I need 50 more subscribers. I want to give this away, and the way to enter, Maddie still hasn't entered, watch a video, comment something about that video with the hashtag STWT. See Todd, win Todd.
There you go.
And if you do get this, if you do win this, you're not allowed to sell it. I will come and I will rename your child.
He's going to rename your child.
Because you're assuming I'm already winning it because I win all of your contests.
Exactly. Rigged. Hashtag rigged.
Hashtag Actually, Dave wins all his own contests.
That's true. I do. I've done it
That is truly rigged. Guys, I was just watching the show. Do you watch any Nathan For You or The Rehearsal?
I haven't watched a rehearsal yet. I heard it's very good, though.
It's very good. I watched The Rehearsal and then I went back and I've been watching, like, binging Nathan For You while I'm, like, doing baby care and stuff. And it's really it's just so funny. But there's a lot of stuff that's, like, hashtag rigged, where he's, like, creating a film festival that only his film is in, and his film is competing against a video of him farting on demand so that his film will win against the farting video.
Oh,
that's hashtag rigged.
I do have to watch it. Maddie, how are your nipples?
They're holding up okay. They're holding up, spiders, but
yeah, they have like technology now. You don't have to do that anymore, Maddie.
Really?
Yeah, it's this crazy new stuff.
Well, technology is what got me into this whole mess in the first place. So
that's also so.
Here's something I have not shown off yet, and only a couple people have seen this, but I made a very interesting art find the other day. There's a shop that I help out in Tacoma, and they have a consignment person every once in a while brings in some big ticket items. And I saw this on the wall, and I did not know at first what I was looking at until I
Done.
put my face up. I bought this the other day. This is an original Shredder piece of art commission by Kevin Eastman, signed by Eastman originally in 85, then re-signed by Eastman and Laird again in 85. Not only did I track down the original owner of this piece via Instagram, but this piece is actually used as a shirt that Eastman sells on his website.
Oh, because
No
you said you
way.
were trying to figure out where you've seen it before.
Yeah, and
You
and
know
I
it was on magazine.
think it also has been published somewhere, which I haven't found. But holy crap, this is it's I guess an 8x10, 8x11.
It's early enough where it might not even be a commissioned piece. It might have just been like concept art.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure, and I plan on finding Eastman at a convention this year and asking him.
Hey,
Because
can you go
there's
back 30 years and tell me about this?
well, there's definitely history in this piece.
He
Like
would.
this,
I feel like he would remember. Like that's
Yeah,
such
because
an such an
it was so
iconic.
early on.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
It was only a
Um,
few months after he created Shredder. Like,
exactly.
And
That's
having
the
met
thing.
him for the first time recently, he's a very like lucid and engaging guy. You know, like
yeah,
he seems like he would remember details like that. You know.
I have a feeling this is more than just a commission. I think you're right. I was talking to my buddy who's actually in the chat, Jason, patron of comic art, and he said it's yes that Jason. He said this could be worth upwards of 5 figures. I mean,
isn't that crazy?
I didn't buy it for that, but that was kind of the thing that sealed it for me. It's like I didn't realize like how hard it is to find a piece of art like this from Kevin Eastman. And I don't know if Laird worked on it, but I'm stoked that he signed it anyway because they co-created this character anyway.
It's just so beautiful, though. It's like it's not the fact that it's not black and white either.
Yeah. See, yeah, he just said it. It looks familiar when art is published in other forms. So I have another piece to show off, but I can't do it right now. I did get a piece from Steve Levine, who was one of the animated artists, and I got a original piece of art that came with the actual merchandise piece that it turned into from that art.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Oh, yep, Flush. That is actually a quote from Kevin Eastman. Yeah, I remember drawing that on the shitter after a bender. Okay, so
we should all be so lucky.
Right. So
#blessed.
I don't think Avery was watching this live, but I know Maddie was. The Punisher. Were you watching it, Avery?
I did not watch it live. No.
Maddie,
it was
were
on
you watching
Instagram,
it?
right?
Yeah, it was on Instagram.
What about Punisher?
When I unboxed it.
When he unboxed it.
All right, let's look at the clip. All right, let's back up. I know Flush was in there. Flush was in there.
Flush's favorite clip.
And Angel was in there too. A bunch of people were in there, but I think Spider might have been in there. So here's a little backstory. Let's go back 10 years. I sold my car when I moved from Long Island to Queens in 2010. I did not buy a car until the beginning of this year after I moved to Tacoma from Seattle. The day I bought my car, I got home, I made dinner, I'm sitting down to eat dinner, get the notification on the phone, comics listings in OfferUp. I open my phone and there was this, I don't have the photo of it, it's on my phone somewhere. There was a post for a box of comics, $100. The post read something like, this is a box of comics. I'm not going to bother looking through it. $100 takes it. You could only see 2 comics on the cover, on the top of the box. And it was like 2 Doc Savage, Bronze Age Marvel comics. And I was like, fuck. Like, can I come pick up this box? She's like, yeah, you just got to be here by 8:30. So I like threw my fucking plate in the sink. I get my car. I got the address. I start driving out there, and I had $100 cash. I go to her house, knock on the door. Hey, I asked her if there was water damage on the box. That was the only thing I wasn't going to buy the box, and she said no. So she opens the door. She's got the box. I kind of put my hand in it just to make sure that the comics felt right, because you can feel water damage. Even if it's 30-year-old water damage, you can feel.
They just feel crusty.
Yeah.
Crispy.
Yeah, they feel wavy. You can just feel it. Yeah. And so, so it's funny. It was a random live stream. I stopped to get gas on the way home. took a picture of the box in my back seat and said, blind $100 box of comics unboxing video. You know, I'll be live in an hour. I get home, I put the box down, and I just hit, you know, and I started flipping through the books, and like it was great because like it was all Bronze and Silver Age, and I picked out like a couple of early. I picked out it was the first 10 issues of Luke Cage, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then it happened. Now, not safe for work. So if you are offended by language,
Laith, cover your ears.
yeah, cover your ears. It's loud and there's a lot of F-bombs. But what happened was very, very much exactly how it happened on Instagram right now. Here we go.
Here, plop. Number 3, Weird Wonder Tales 2. Oh! Holy shit! What? Oh! Holy fucking shit! Oh my fuck! Fuck! Holy shit! Oh boy! Oh boy! I am holy shit!
But I'm a heart attack.
So yeah,
Jesus.
that's this book.
Was that ambulance that went by live, or was that in the video?
No, that was in the video. That was in the
Okay,
video.
they're coming to save your life.
Yeah, seriously. I mean,
God,
like
that turned out to be a 9.2. That's insane. It wasn't bagged and boarded, was it?
nothing
No.
in the box was bagged and boarded. That was the only Spider-Man book in there. And it was like this is this
Dave,
this
a
thing.
question for you.
Yeah.
You come upon a lot of books, right?
Mhm.
Like, do you ever think about like the journey of like why these books in this formation? Like, how did this happen?
Somebody put it was a storage locker that this woman buys this woman buys storage lockers, and I'm guessing that this person either it was too calculated of a collection to be a store. It was all, you know, like there was an entire run of Commandy, there was an entire run of Demon. There was a lot of Kirby in there, but
Yeah, but a store wouldn't just have a box.
no,
of
that's what I'm saying. This was
bagged and boarded either. So
this was just somebody who bought them and
Right.
kept them in a box for
Right.
40 years. I don't know, like
So
nothing was
it has
bagged
to be
and boarded.
contemporaneous with essentially original owner, like original, right, collection,
Sure.
but just like someone that didn't really care about what they had kept.
yeah,
But
Right?
there was like this was like I said, the only Spider-Man book in here. So there was something
So
about
weird.
this book, you know, like there I thought I
Sure.
was gonna find a 181 because there was like a Hulk 170, a Hulk
Mhm.
174, and then like a Hulk 187. But yeah, it was I don't know. I still think, and I told her, the woman who I bought these from, I think her name's Amanda. I kept in touch with her. I told her, I was like, if this person has more, just buy them. I will buy them directly from you. I never told her what I got, but I told her I really enjoyed opening it and looking through it. Because, like, you know, at the time when I got this, I thought I was looking at a 9.8. You know, there's some light fingerprints and very tiny staple rust. You can't see it, but
but you still think you can get a grade bump on it too?
yeah, this is going to Maddie at some point. We've already talked about this. But
You know what's funny? I'm currently in the process of bumping another friend's ASM 129, attempting to bump from a 9.4.
That's tougher.
So it's
Yeah.
I think it'll be a little easier to get it from a 9.2 to a 9.4.
But I think what you're
I
gonna be
agree.
able to, I think what you're gonna try and do with this one is it's just the back cover. It's been pressed and cleaned twice.
Yeah,
And
it's just can I resolve the and most of what you're seeing is on the white. No,
And you're
it's-
experimenting with a black light.
Yeah.
Right.
I can try with blacklight and with a peroxide solution that's not detectable in restoration.
Yeah.
And this thing, the other thing is I'm possibly, and we'll see if it actually happens, but I'm possibly going to trade this for an original comic page. And I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to jinx myself. But if I do pull off the trade, it's like probably a $10,000 page.
Wow.
So
Well, I mean, yeah, if you can trade it in current form for something like that, then
That might be more
you could,
worthwhile.
yeah, because you need to get to a 9.6 for some real value change. And I don't
Yeah.
know what a 9.6 goes for. Do you, Dave?
Well, so earlier this year, there was a sale for I think 15
Yeah.
grand.
In
Yep.
96.
Yeah, and it's funny where what this comic did to my mental state, and I don't mean that like in a permanent way, but when I pulled this out of the box, I had my knowledge of pressing and like how clean this was. I was like, oh my god, this could actually change my life. Like
Mm.
this could be a book that goes 9.8 and I get $45,000 for it. That's
Yeah.
a life changing amount of money for a single dude at 43.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that you paid practically nothing for.
nothing
Like,
for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but as a 9.2, I'm still happy with it. It was still one of the coolest moments of anything. Like, and it's funny. So the funny story I was going to tell Avery at the beginning, I very much do not spend any time on TikTok, but I do have a TikTok account. And I posted the clip of that once before, but I said, fuck it. I posted it again today. And it's just so funny how ridiculously jealous and stupid people are on the internet. That's somebody's like, I love a good spine roll. And I was just, and then somebody replied to that, like, let the dude have his moment. It's fucking amazing. And I replied to the dude, I was like, yeah, that spine roll kind of weird at a 9.2.
Yeah.
and then
What a
somebody
spine
else,
roll.
and then somebody else chimed in, is that book worth a lot in that kind of condition? That bad condition? I was just like, okay, all right, calm down
a lot of
there.
people don't know don't know good condition if it hits them in the
Yeah.
face.
TikTok too. So it's just like
Yeah.
a whole nother universe.
Yeah, yeah. And somebody got me to open up a TikTok account just like by like saying like it's the best algorithm, the most pure. And I'm always trying to get more people to the channel. And I
That's
know
true.
I got one person off of TikTok to come follow me on here, and that's all I ever, I strive to just get the quality people.
That's all you've ever dreamed of.
That's all, just the one person.
I will say that like when you find high grade bronze or silver in the wild, it does kind of mess with you a little bit because
It
it's
does.
like because it doesn't seem possible and it's not and you don't usually see those books in that high grade. So you don't like if you saw a modern book in a 9.8 potential, you know what that looks like. But do you know what a 1975 or whatever book looked like coming off the shelf? And you sort of second guess yourself. I remember coming across a bunch of like Eternals #1s,
Tell me the
before
story.
the movie came out, and I got like 3 9.8s out of that collection. But I still second guessed it. Like it looks pretty perfect, but it doesn't look like a modern perfect.
It's
There's
weird. Yeah. It's a weird
there's
mentality.
something about that too, especially Bronze Age. There must have been a lot of comic stores that closed towards the end of the Bronze Age, in the beginning of the 80s, because both you and I, and I don't know if you have, Avery, so correct me if I'm wrong, but me and Maddie both shared stories about finding collections that included store stock Bronze Age stuff
Mm-hmm.
that was high grade. Like I got 10 at the beginning of the year.
Essentially like dealer's boxes.
Yeah,
Mm.
I got a collection earlier this year, or maybe it was the end of last year, that had like 10 copies of What If #1, 10 copies of Howard the Duck #1, like
Mm-hmm.
all these mid Bronze Age books.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, okay. Laura said people value dumbass mentality more than reality too. Probably has a Turok in a 7.6, so it makes sense he tried to clown on you.
That's
But
one of a kind. So
that is a one of a kind.
might
Yeah,
actually
that would be a
kind too.
really special grade.
It's something though that this, Dave kind of started saying to me, and I'm talking about other Dave, not my dual personality that Maddie claims I have.
Tyler Durden.
Yeah, there really is something to be said about when he just used to say like, those books are out there. Like you can jump on books sometimes that make sense, but you just wait and that book will show up. They're all out there. Like I found an Albedo 2 this year and an X-Men 2 at people's houses.
Mm-hmm.
Like
You
Wow.
always repeat that sentiment too. You're always just like, I mean, I used to always say there's gold in them hills, but it's like,
That's a good one too. I mean, it's, you know, and like I put the time in to get books the way I do. I know Maddie puts a lot of time in getting books off like people from Facebook or like eBay auctions that may kind of fly under the radar. And Avery, you do a little bit of everything because I've watched you, tell me about the store, the guy in San Diego that had all those Mark Jewelers, and then I told you about that store I went to, and it was the same fucking guy.
Store, yeah, Collectables. I found out what his name is. He misspells collectibles, so it's hard to find.
But it's just there's so much what's the word intricacy. It's very intricate looking for books and buying books and finding books.
There's a psychology behind it for sure.
100%.
There really
100%.
is. A lot of people can skate by and get lucky with it, but when you put like a psychology at like front on it, it's very unique in its.
How do you mean, Avery? What? Say more on that. What kind of psychology are you?
Just call him a moron.
We were kind of talking about it a little bit right before you hop back on. We were just like, there's a psychology with the way you like talk to people and the way that like you search for things and stuff like that. Like, it's always so interesting. Like following leads and taking
a
chance on stuff.
Right.
It's all psychology at the end of the day.
And it's psychology mixed with intuition. Like, there's a psychology of selling, right? That's nothing new, but looking through looking at a collection or say moron, like looking at posts, and I've talked to Maddie and I've talked to a bunch of friends that when you're looking at a post and somebody's selling a collection, and you see like the wording, sometimes you'll see a wording like never been taken out of the bag, or it's never been opened. And you're just like, okay, so you know nothing about comics.
It's like tells. It's like a poker tell. Like, okay, what are you? What do you know? What do you think you know? What are you trying to convey? What are you not trying to convey? Those kinds of things.
And then there's people that say stuff like that to try to trick you into thinking that they don't know anything. And you have to decide
for sure.
A
lot of people put like bait of making it seem like, oh, I just found this whole collection when it's really like their total junk discard.
Because they already stripped the collection.
Yeah.
Right. They already stripped it, and they're giving tells that show you actually know more about comics than you're trying to
easily
let on.
So he asked, Laura Ryder asked, because he's about 10, 15 years younger than us. Maybe not Avery, unless you're 15, because Avery's like 22, but no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
how much these opportunities will never stop existing for the reason of collectibles they go out of style. People get bored of them. Look at how many people jumped into comics just in the last year that never bought comics before. And that's not to like insult anybody. It's just a fact. Like,
no, it's true.
And people will sell their collections. People will get rid of it. People, I mean, sad to say, people fucking die all the time. And when a husband dies and he leaves this giant collection behind, I've dealt with it so many times this year.
Yep.
So these opportunities will always exist. The thing is, and I'll say this because I even had my cousin ask me once, the amount of time that I put into finding collections and dealing with people is a full-time job. This is a me and Maddie are do it different ways, but it's a full-time job. And Avery, you did it pretty much 24/7 also
for a while.
But searching for the books, I wake up in the morning and I check all of my places that I look for collections as soon as I get up, because I can't tell you how many times I've woken up at 6:30 in the morning to see somebody that posted something at 2 in the morning, and I'm the first person to jump on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
All the time. Yeah.
I oftentimes find that I think I trade off, probably not wisely, my attention to new comic book day hustle of pre-ordering, researching, investing over there and trying to sell that shit versus trying to find collections. I feel like if I were to have the ability to cut that completely out, I'd probably be better for it. But I'm kind of just hooked on it at this point.
But like Dave was saying, it's like you guys run the same business 2 different ways. So it's it's like looking at you, it's like you have 2 different departments.
Yeah. That's why we work well together.
It's true.
So
yeah, we definitely have a lot of overlap, but definitely offer different services or like different
Exactly.
types
Yeah, that's how you should
of
look at it. It's like
variety. Yeah.
Sure.
different service.
That's why I'm glad that we kind of met. And like when you came out here, man, it was so much fun to go digging with you because it was like
Yeah.
you got to see my world, and then like you rode that high for a while. Like you kept
Oh
like
yeah,
going with it, and like going to this summer you went to a bunch of
I
markets.
did. I think I
So,
will again in the summertime, but yeah, it sort of gets quiet in the winter and babies are born
yeah,
and
well,
things
I
like
mean,
that, you know.
life happens. Life
Yeah.
finds a way. Uh,
Life finds a way.
Let's all right, well, we're down to 12. Once we get like 15 people, I'm gonna do the second giveaway trivia question. But yeah, this year was wild. I mean, like I was
a crazy year for you, I felt like.
it was, but I mean it was great for meeting you guys too. Like, I mean, I started talking to Maddie last year, but we we got super close this year. He came out here in May, and that was a lot of fun. And I got close with you and met you in LA, and I hope to meet more people in this community, whether they buy from me or they're friends. I don't care. Like, I just like meeting people. It's nice to
Yeah.
put faces with names. And
It's fun, yeah.
when I go out to
For sure.
Australia and I stay with Rowan for 3 weeks, whether he wants me to or not, that'll be a lot of fun.
No offense, Spider, but I'm never coming out there. I've seen the spiders.
Oh God, yeah. Well, there we go. I mean, look, you can collect the way you want, Amber. Just collect the way you want. Don't let anybody dictate the way you collect. Yeah, and then me and Flush talk about this a lot, like getting your personal collection to where you want it to be. And I used to struggle with that until now, where I kind of get whatever I want, and now I get to collect what I want, which is beautiful. So,
yep.
Spider's leaving because I told him that I'm coming to stay at his house. I'll bring some invasive species to your country.
You are an invasive species.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, let's see what. Oh, so that was another experience I had, which you two guys have had before me. I did my first, con this year, which was amazing. I know Avery, you've been doing Near Mint Sundays for a little bit, and Maddie, you do random conventions in Rhode Island whenever you feel like it, which is really cool.
Connecticut.
Yeah, whatever. Fucking New England.
It's all one state, basically.
Yeah, exactly. New England is one. What's up, Armando? Americans aren't. That is very, very true. But I did my first convention, which is Grit City Comic Con in Tacoma, and that was great because I got to meet some people that knew the channel, which is hilarious because I'm nobody. And I totally forgot to do an episode on this or put this in an episode. But here's one of the friends of the channel singing a little song at the convention.
Bill saying cabbage, Sakowitz. Bill saying cabbage, Sakowitz.
He nailed it too.
Yeah, I was dying. Oh man, I forget.
Who was
his
that?
Name. I forget his name. Chris?
Was he like a regular?
Yeah. Like he came over and he literally walked up to the table with his girlfriend and said, "West Coast Avengers." I was just like, "Whoa, what?"
So I don't know if I ever told you. I think I did. I told you about one of them, but two separate guys came up to me at Near Mint Sundays, the last one I did, and were like, "I love what you." I don't know. They said they don't comment; they just lurk in the background. But it was like,
yeah.
I love watching your videos with Dave. I've always watched West Coast Avengers. I'm like, that's hilarious. I was like, he'll love to hear that.
It's one of the things that I had in mind when I started this channel was to like have people that show up, do things that are part of this. Like I watch we all listen to people talk about community, and there's different ideas of what a community is, and support is a huge part, but just being there, like being a part of it, being a part of the fucking clown troupe is what I want. And like
I know I posted that little reel thing, and I was just like, damn, that was a cool year.
Yeah, it was fun to see your little recap thing, and I was thinking about doing that, and I'm like, you know what, I'll just do it here. All right, we got 18 people in the room, so let's do the only other giveaway. It's a trivia question. It's the same thing. Name the artist, but here's what I'm giving away. Speaking of the devil, Bill Sienkiewicz, Sakowitz. Bill Sienkiewicz, Sakowitz. This is Wolverine Inner Fury. Bill Sienkiewicz. So I'm going to show another Marvel card. And the first person, and Jason, you already won tonight, so keep your answer to yourself. If you can name the artist of this card, you're going to win the book. This is Adam Warlock from Marvel Universe Series 2, 1991. Who is the artist? He is a fan favorite who's been doing Marvel stuff since, the 80s.
Yeah, you can't not know what that body formation looks like.
Yeah, if I could show you the face, it would be even better because his face.
Oh yeah.
I'm not getting it from my tiny phone screen, but maybe I'll.
It's hard to get the lighting here.
That might be hard for some people.
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
I have a guess.
Well, Maddie, feel free to make a guess. Flush said Joe Mad. It's not Joe Mad. It's not Hubert.
I'm saying Jim Lee.
No. You're all kind of close. But
Hubert was a decent guess.
Let's see if you can get it from the face on the back.
Oh, I got it.
Don't say. Let's see if somebody can guess it. But if nobody
I like
guesses,
those universe cards.
Oh, they're so good. By the way, I'm doing a Whatnot show this Friday. I'm trying my last Whatnot show of Marvel cards. If it doesn't work, bye-bye Whatnot. I tried comics. It's over. All right, Maddie, who is it?
Liefeld.
No! It's Arthur Adams.
Oh, I should have known that.
That body.
Well,
Arthur body.
All right, since I want to give this away anyway, let's do a giveaway. Hashtag SANK. Hashtag SANK. We'll just do a blind giveaway. Hashtag SANK. And I'll give this away to somebody.
Yes.
SANK.
That 1991 Art Adams.
You know what's great is that about that Sankiewicz song is that no one can tell you that you are pronouncing it wrong because you're pronouncing it in every way that you possibly
could. Exactly.
True.
That's why I started singing it. Man, I really got to get him on this show. No, Laura, I don't think he did any Silver Surfer. You're thinking of Ron Lim. He did Fantastic Four, Classic X-Men. I mean, he's done some of everything. He's got one of the most iconic Wolverine, poses, where he's kind of like lunging or ducking forward. Hashtag SANK, and I'll give this away.
Which cover is the Wolvie pose from? The Art Adams pose?
It's partially from Classic X-Men, but he did a poster and a T-shirt. They were on posters and T-shirts, and man, that I saw that image everywhere when I was a kid. Hashtag SANK, and I'll give this away. I want to get at least 10 people in the giveaway, and we're only at 8.
Here, I'll throw my name in there.
Throw your name in the hat, brother. But yeah, this is
Art Adams of X-Men Annual 14 fame.
That's right. And X-Men Annual, I believe he did 13 and 15. He did the X-Babies one as well.
Yeah, that's right. The X-Babies one.
Yeah. So, wow, I lost somebody. I'm trying to give this away, and I lost somebody in the room.
How does that happen?
They're like, I don't want this shit. I gotta go.
You can rescind your hashtags?
Hashtag SANK. Well, I wrote you. I don't think. What do you mean, spiders? I didn't even do the drawing yet. I still have 9 entries. We need another entry at least. Does anybody want to hear Anybody want to see my top 13 albums of the year?
Yeah. I want to see that.
I mean, I could talk about it.
They put out there were albums made this year?
Yes, there were.
Yeah.
There were.
It was like
13 of them.
That's it.
Maddie, you just put in the private chat hashtag SANK.
Well, I failed.
Yeah, you did. You couldn't even do that right.
That removed somebody from the pool by you doing that. So thanks a lot.
All right, guys, hashtag SANK, and I want to give this away. I still need one more person. There's supposedly 17 people in here. Yeah, there were a lot of records released this year. Tony Stank.
The only records I'm aware of are Taylor Swift.
Oh God.
and Beyonce. So that's the level I'm at these days.
There we go. Trip's gonna do it. All right, we're gonna give this away. Oh, that's right. He has an Art Adams.
I was just kidding.
Oh, actually, where is it? I want to show you guys something. I don't think I've showed this off. Shown this off yet. Hold on.
Hey, what's up, Trip?
Trippy.
All right, we'll show that off. Gonna do. How about top 3 grunge albums for fun? Wow, that's too hard. No Code, In Utero, and Super Unknown.
Was that 3-1 or 1-3?
I don't know. All right, here we go. Let's give this away. I don't know what you're talking about. 1-3, 3-1, 5 against 1, 1, 5, 5.
The ranking.
Oh, I don't know. Man, I can't rank that. All right, here we go. Let's give it away. 5, 4, a 3, a 2,
3,
a 1. Sank.
Sank. You have to sing the song while it's going.
Bill Sienkiewicz, Sankwitz. Bill Sienkiewicz, Sankwitz, Sankwitz. Oh, and Armando's going to take it. Man, that's like the 3rd thing he's won for me.
And he won it because he's the only one that put hashtag Tony Sank.
Oh, dude, Tony Sank. Oh, it's really good. All right. That's ridiculous. All right, now I didn't show. Oh, Merry Christmas to you and a Happy Hanukkah as well, Trip. So I didn't show this off, but speaking of Art Adams, this was a find at Tricky's and the store that I help at. It is a Art Adams sketch of Art Adams.
That's
amazing.
Yeah, from 1997.
That's great.
Yeah, I love it. I have to. I want to try and meet him just to verify that he actually did this. And
just hold it up to him. Just be like,
"Yeah, is this you? Did you do this?" I didn't forget Alice in Chains. If I'm picking 3, I just couldn't pick Alice in Chains, even though I love Alice in Chains.
What was your first pick, Dave?
No Code is Pearl Jam's 4th album, and it is enlarged by most Pearl Jam fans their best. I mean, it is their best.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not aware of it at all.
Give it a listen because it aged really, really well.
Well, I only was like on board like for what is it, 7?
10 and verses.
10 and verses. That's what I was on board for.
Yeah. All right, let me just
Then I was
do this.
offline.
Let me just do this quickly because I love fucking. I still find his choices inoffensive. I appreciate that. Nevermind. You know, I love Nevermind, but In Utero is Nirvana's best album, in my opinion. They were doing stuff that nobody in their right mind, as the biggest band in the world, was going to do. It's kind of like when the Beatles made the White Album. Everybody's like, huh? The Beatles were just like, oi, you know? Or Sgt. Pepper's.
Question: as I'm eating these gummy candies, is it like crunching and being really obnoxious in your headphones? Okay, good.
All right, so 13 albums I love this year because people want to know. Then we'll get back to the comics. Chili Peppers put out 2 albums this year. They made one really good album between those 2 albums. But John Frusciante's back in the Chili Peppers, so that is, that's a good.
The most important member. Don't at me.
Not going to disagree. Flea. Actually, Flea is. That's the thing with that band with Frusciante. It's like they are playing on the highest level, and like Chad Smith's like, oh, I could do this all day, and Flea's just like, and then Anthony Kiedis is like, California.
I still think Will Ferrell is the best member of the Chili Peppers.
He definitely is.
He's the best drummer. He's the best drummer Red Hot Chili Peppers has ever had.
People that knock Anthony Kiedis blow my mind because like you get most people are like, oh, I don't really listen to the lyrics, but then when it comes to Anthony Kiedis, like I can't stand him because he just rhymes stuff. I'm like, just listen to the bass and the guitar.
Anyway. Yeah, plus just watch him perform live too. He's one of the best frontmen ever.
Yeah,
has so much energy.
Oh, I love him. Speaking of people I love, Eddie Vedder's Earthling. He released a solo album at the beginning of the year. That was really good. A couple of bands that people probably don't know, whatever. Kevin Devine, one of my favorite singer-songwriters from Brooklyn, released an amazing album called Nothing's Real, Nothing's Wrong. And Pine Grove, a band from Montclair, New Jersey, early this year released an album called 1111. That's on my top albums. Yeah, okay, so it turned into 2005 this year. Yeah, Yeahs, Mars Volta, Death Cab for Cutie, Sparta, all released albums this year, and they're all fucking great.
That yeah album is nuts.
Oh, it's so
Wow, I
good.
gotta hear that.
Yeah, Karen O does no wrong. She does no wrong.
Amazing.
The new Death Cab album, Asphalt Meadows, probably their best album since Plans in 2005. Mars Volta changed their sound a little bit.
Yeah,
I
a little bit.
dig the shit out of that album. I dig it. It's not heavy and all over the place. It's very Latin infused music. I promise we'll get back to the comics. Jack White released 2 albums this year, and people liked Fear of the Dawn, which was the first album. I thought it was fucking awful. But then his second album, Entering Heaven Alive, was like the best of Jack White. So Wet Leg was probably the standout album of the year. 2 women, I guess they're in their early 20s, like a punk stoner mentality album out of the UK, and it's like the horniest punk album I've ever heard. I love it. They're one of those bands that they played, they went from playing clubs to stadiums literally in 12 months.
That's like classic Britpop right there, though.
Yeah. Wow. And then the last 2 that I loved, Farm to Table, which is Bartees Strange's second album. And Bartees, if you don't know who he is, there's no way to pigeon that man into a genre, but just listen to his music. He's a fantastic musician. And then the band that I saw play last week in Portland, The Smile, Tom York, Johnny Greenwood, and Tom Skinner. And every sound that comes out of Tom York's mouth is something from another planet.
Good.
Can I plug one album that I guarantee no one's ever heard?
As long as it's not Taylor Swift.
It's not Taylor Swift. My friend, his name's Alan Bliley. Last name is Bleyle. He put out an album called Still Emotions, and it is really fucking good. And he's like, it's kind of like a bedroom recording artist kind of guy that has a small band. He's based in LA, actually. You could probably see him, Avery. But it's just a solid pop album, and
I like it. I like your music video that was uncovered.
I didn't get to watch
which one?
that
The Superman music video?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a treat. You should treat yourself, Dave.
You got it.
Yeah, and he doesn't know how to promote himself and how to get on a record label. Anyway, he's very much like an undiscovered gem, and I recommend everybody check him out.
Spell his last name again. It's Alan Bliley.
Yeah, Bleyle.
Okay,
LeymE.
L-E Bliley.
Yeah, he's basically on Bandcamp, I believe. You can get the album on Bandcamp. Yeah, he's in LA.
Cool. I'll check him out. I wrote it
Yeah,
down.
my dad promotes. He's a band.
That's right.
Oh, sick.
So yes, music to me, and I know you guys we're cut from the same kind of tree or whatever. I don't know what the saying is, but
cloth.
It's very cloth. It's very much. There's so much important when it comes to music in my life, and I know Maddie is the same, and I know Avery's the same. It's like living without music doesn't work. It just doesn't. It doesn't.
Wait, what is it? Alan Bliley?
Yeah, Allen.
Okay, I found him.
Oh, he's stalking him.
Oh yeah, get on.
So what's okay? Maddie, Avery, me. What were your standouts for the comic book movie TV scape this year?
Ooh.
I mean, I think I know Avery's, and but I don't want to speak for you. And Maddie, I kind of know, but I don't want to speak for you either.
Maddie can go first if he knows.
Well, I would say movie-wise, Black Panther was definitely the standout for me. I thought it was tremendous. But they basically, remind me of the director's name. I'm blanking, but he is Ryan Coogler is such a talented filmmaker that he, made lemonade out of lemons, and a terrible tragedy he just converted into a beautiful piece of art, and that was just a total work of magic, I thought. And it was a great comic book movie, and had a lot of fan servicey things and a lot of cool new takes on things, and you
And they
know,
could have really messed up Namor, and they didn't at all.
No,
Yeah.
they went went above and beyond for Namor, especially like making the significant changes that they made, but
Yeah.
they didn't feel like changes, like they felt like they were natural.
I thought it was more
Yeah.
beautiful that way.
Yeah,
motivated and like earned. Yeah, it fit with the story, and it added depth, I think, to like sort of a real world kind of depth to it. That was
the action in the movie was fantastic too. Like the shot choices, everything in that movie worked for me. Length is never, and I don't know about you guys, but length has never been a problem for me in movies.
That's what she said.
This is coming from somebody that has seen each Lord of the Rings extended
Wonder if it was
edition
last year, wasn't
10
it?
times. So
Yeah, no, that's the same for me. If a movie is good, I don't feel the length, whether it's long or short.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what she said.
Yeah.
WandaVision came out last year, though, right?
Did it, or did it come out January?
I'm pretty sure WandaVision was last year. Doctor Strange was this year, but
Yeah.
could have been bled over into this year.
I feel like it did, but I can't remember. But Sandman,
yeah,
far and away the best. I mean, like, I know you loved Andor, Avery, but Sandman.
No, I love Sandman more.
Yeah, Sandman was far and away the best thing that hit TV this year.
Including the 2 little episodes they gave us at the very end too. That came like a couple weeks later.
I think I might like Andor more. That's saying a lot because I love Sandman, but
Yeah.
Andor really blew me away.
It did.
Andor was. I mean, Andor was. You know, I think for me it definitely was easy for it to occupy 2 different spots for me, because Andor I didn't know what was going to happen. Where Sandman, because I've read it.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't
different experience. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't edge of my seat. It was like watching your favorite painting being painted.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
I was about to say that too. It's like 2 different things. Like Sandman, I knew I was going to get, and I was happy with what I got.
Yeah.
Or I didn't have any idea what I was going to get, and I got way more than I ever thought I was going to get. So
I'd flush. I was just about to say the death episode. I was crying like a baby. I was
hell yeah. I was definitely crying.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about when you're like a piece of art or entertainment sums up the way that we all think or feel about death in a way that we've never thought or felt. You know, like it was so weird to experience that. And I could feel like everything that Gaiman ever wrote flowing through that entire episode, because
I got emotional with the Gatling episode too.
Which one was
Which
that?
one is that?
Gatling. I think was it the same episode as the Her Wings? I don't think it was.
No.
When he revisits the immortal, and
that was very moving as well.
It was such a beautiful the way they portrayed it was so beautiful.
I agree, and I came to Sandman from the other end of the spectrum of never having read it at all, so it was completely. I mean, just completely new to me. But like, I could say the same thing for The Boys in the sense of like I never read the books, and you know I was taking it all in for the first time and like really just digging it. Also, like Sandman was a show that my partner, my girlfriend, like got into, which is no small feat. Like she doesn't usually like anything comic book related. I was like, this is basically known as the best comic book written of all time.
Right,
so it's pretty good source material.
Hard to argue with that.
And it's funny because I've tried to in the last 15 years I've tried to always turn friends on to Neil Gaiman in one way or another. And when you talk about him as a writer and you explain that to somebody, it's just like hard for the person to be like, oh, I don't have interest in digesting his work. Sandman was not canceled. It was.
No, I'm hoping they kind of. He makes it sound like their season 2 is all but confirmed.
They announced it.
Yeah. But,
yeah.
I mean, anything can happen. I'm just saying.
Of course,
it's true, especially with like the sketchiness of Netflix these days. Everything.
Yeah.
They're passing on a lot of things, canceling a lot of things,
but a lot of those
under promoting a lot of things.
The ones that we got are like some of my favorites. So I hope they just continue going on with the continuity and adapt those, like a Game of You.
And the Midsummer, whatever it is.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
Oh,
you know,
I
it's
really liked Werewolf by Night, by the way. I really
I was
enjoyed
gonna say,
that one off.
I know Dave
Werewolf.
didn't like it as much.
No,
But-
I didn't like it the first way around, and then the second time. So sometimes I get if I watch something later at night, I get tired and I don't enjoy it as much. And then the second time I watched Werewolf by Night, I was like, oh yeah, this was fantastic. No, I at first I was like, I didn't like the way that they portrayed Man Thing at first because I was like, oh, this is just Groot. But then I watched it the second time with also the knowledge that it was practical that they did,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, that's wild because it did
Really?
not look-
They had a Man Thing suit?
yeah, it
a
was
whole
practical.
giant prop.
No shit. It looked great.
It did. It looked amazing, and that was the one thing from it that I took away on my first watch. Was like, this just looks so cool and so different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I love that it was this. What's the name of the composer director?
Michael Giacchino. Yeah,
Yeah, just the idea that that's his first major directing project, I imagine, and he just
knocked it out of
nailed
the park.
it. Just fucking nailed it, and you could and it really worked naturally with the music. Being that he's a composer, it was a really unique vision, I thought.
here's proof that time is a flat circle. WandaVision aired January of 2021. Holy shit, that could have fooled me.
So
Way off.
Oh, next month.
Yeah. Wow.
But can we say one of the worst comic movie related things of the year?
What is
Or is that not for
Why
the
No,
show?
I don't care.
Christmas Day.
I just finally watched Black Adam on HBO.
I don't think it was the worst. It just wasn't
And
great.
It was a lot of just like this to me, like just a lot of hand to forehead moments of just like, why are we doing this? And I thought it was quite bad. I mean, I wanted to like it, and there were little elements of it that I enjoyed, but I was just like, yeah, this should flop. This is a movie that does not deserve to succeed or get a sequel because they just how do you develop a movie for 10 years and not get a better script? That's my big question.
Fair enough. Yeah, the script wasn't the I enjoyed it a lot.
Very much either. So
yeah.
Tell him the Man in Black sent you. And then his name is like Test Adam for the entire movie, and then it's like, what do we call you? Black Adam. Like, you literally are gonna end with a reveal of your name.
Okay.
That we know for the that's supposed to be a surprise.
Do you want to know something really funny? I thought when I first saw it, I watched it twice because I watched it at home. I thought they were saying his name was Death Adam. The whole first time I saw the movie, I was like, "Oh, that's pretty fucking dope." Death
That would be
Adam.
dope.
I know.
sounds like a band name.
And then I was like, yeah, and then I watched it at home, and I'm like, oh, they said Death, and I was like, oh,
that sounds cool.
No,
yeah, it's like the subtitles don't serve the movie when you watch it at home.
No. So what else? Peacemaker was absolutely
great.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
It was a good one.
So I know we could all agree because we're three fans of the character as well as the show. Best villain of the year, Arthur Harrow. Man, Moon Knight was so good. Moon Knight was so good.
Fucking love Moon
It came
Knight.
out this year too.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm so sad that the community, in air quotes, is so split on things like that. Like, why are people so mad about it? Because it's clearly doing.
I knew going into it that people were going to be split on it, though.
But I don't know why. Like, I feel like, are the people that didn't like it, what were they expecting if they read the comic or if they didn't read the comic? Like, I've not read all Moon Knight. I know Avery has. But I've jumped around and I've read some of every writer that's ever written him. And I'm like, oh, this is the essence of the character.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, he's the Joker.
People are just the biggest complaint I see from people, even like mega fans of Moon Knight, is that it wasn't a Moon Knight show. It was a Mark Spector show. It was I'm like, well, that's part of him. Like,
yeah, that was his book for.
And it's an
issues.
origin. It's an origin episode series. So it's you start with Mark Spector and you build towards, or whatever you start with what's his alter ego, and you build towards Moon Knight.
Well, Mark Spector, Jake Lockley, and
what's the third one?
Stephen Grant.
Stephen Grant.
Stephen
yeah.
Grant. I mean, that
So-
was sort of the novel spin was like that's
That they
sort
started
of
with-
your hero. Your hero is the mild-mannered, unwitting buffoon, which is like I thought a really great angle on it.
Yeah, I thought She-Hulk was fun too. So
Your hero
so-
is Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. So two things that I want to say. Moon Knight. Spider brought up a great point. It turned people onto the Sienkiewicz books. For me, I had never read the Jeff Lemire.
Jeff Lemire run is my
Yeah. So
favorite.
I read that after seeing the show to get the perspective on Bucky the cab driver. What's his fucking name again?
Jake Lockley.
Yeah, Jake Lockley. So yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. And you know, I loved it. I thought Ethan Hawke was fantastic. I thought it was just
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac was he's always fantastic too.
Insane.
I
And
think he got nominated for something, but
he should have. And here's the thing. Like I'm definitely one of these people, and I've talked about it before, that inclusivity is a huge part of pop culture, and it should be. Everybody should at least have something to relate to. And it's the first fucking time they ever brought Jewishness into anything in a Marvel or DC show. And it's just like, I didn't know that was coming because I didn't know he was Jewish, and I'm not religious, but fuck, it's nice.
and the fact that they touched on it in a big way too.
It felt good. It felt fucking good. I'm not gonna lie. I did not know I needed to feel that. And you know, we got and then fucking She-Hulk was. I thought it was hilarious. I had a ball watching it.
I was sort of hit or miss on She-Hulk. Like one episode I would like, the next one maybe not so much. But in general,
but overall,
I was pleased.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
You know, and anybody, I think Spiders might be the only person to ever lay claim to being somebody that's read She-Hulk, and maybe I'm wrong. But people that, I mean, Sean, you mentioned it, the community doesn't read comics, and there is definitely a split. And the people that are in here definitely have history of reading and collecting comics, otherwise you wouldn't be in here right now. But, you know, I don't know. There was something about She-Hulk, especially that last episode, that felt like I needed to laugh so bad, and I got what I needed at the end of that series.
Yeah,
Definitely like that. I liked how it ended as well.
They did the fourth wall break really well, and that was like, I mean, that's like the biggest part of her. So
yeah, and then the twerking thing. Anybody who mentions that just obviously doesn't remember her jump roping naked on the fucking cover to whatever number issue that is.
40.
So, and
but real talk though, I would have appreciated more sex appeal. If that, I don't know if that's just my thing, but like the CGI being bad is one thing, but like she was not like it wasn't like pleasing from a male gaze perspective. I'm sorry to even be complaining about this, but I wasn't like, oh, She-Hulk's hot. Like,
well,
she's supposed to be hot in the comics, you know.
Well, that's the thing they harped on the John Byrne run, and then Greg Horny Greg, and Greg, you know. So I get that, but I think
that wasn't a priority.
It wasn't.
I get it.
They're aiming the show towards.
They can only have so many priorities on that show.
Yeah. And the other thing is like that. I think is the point of kind of changing our perspective. Is like at this point, you know, women need a show where they're not looked at sex objects. They're just fucking, you know, she's a tough, funny, intelligent person. And
I really like the actress too, Tatiana Maslany. So there's like certain projects that Marvel's been putting out in Phase 4.
Yeah,
where I appreciated them for what they were, but the thing I took away from it, the biggest positive I took away from them was I can't wait to see them in something else. I can't wait to see them in bigger production and a bigger budget. Like the little small clip of, I mean, I loved Captain Marvel. I understand why people didn't like Captain Marvel, and because Carol Danvers is like one of my favorite characters. I love Brie Larson, but like, the little end credit scene at Miss Marvel, I was like, that was a really cool, like just a quick little representation of Captain Marvel for how quick it was. It was just like her personality was weird. I was like, I want to see more of that. So,
you're talking about the TV Ms. Marvel, yeah?
Yeah.
Great series.
I'll say this. I did read when it first came out the first 10 or 12 issues of G. Willow Wilson's run on Miss Marvel, and I dug it. I've always appreciated like no matter the perspective, female or male, the perspective of the coming of age story. I mean, we grew up, me and Maddie, you know, like we grew up at a time where we had, you know, Stand By Me. We had movies like
Breakfast
that.
Club and
Breakfast
stuff.
Club, right. And the thing I didn't like about this Marvel show was the middle of it when they turned it into the Eternals. You had like you had the first 2 episodes of this kid getting powers, living a life in Jersey City. I could relate to the, you know, East Coast, you know, growing up. And then the last 2 episodes where she comes back and she's struggling, you know, with all of it with her friends. But the middle thing,
I definitely love the first 2 last 2 episodes way more than I like the middle.
Yeah,
for sure.
Agreed. Definitely agree.
And look, I'm still of the mentality. I think there's a lot of people in here that'll agree. I think we're all in that group. I just feel fortunate that we get to live at a time in the last 365 days where all this shit's getting adapted. And they're taking shots that they wouldn't have taken 5 years ago, let alone 10, 15 years ago. So, you know, I can put on these Marvel shows and enjoy them just like I could, you know, read through 30 issues of New Avengers, which I'm doing right now, and like 20 of them.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a tough read too, that Jonathan Hickman run.
Yeah. So I told Avery recently, Avery's one of the few people that like has read a lot of the current, or, you know, within the last decade and a half current stuff that I've never read. And I'm taking a shot at reading Hickman's New Avengers, which leads up to the Secret War and then merging of all the Marvel stuff. Man, some of that shit is so rough to read. It's
because
bad.
of the payoff.
Rough, bad
until the very end.
Yeah, like the first. So it starts with the Illuminati, kind of dealing with it's not convergence. What is it called?
Singularity.
The insurrection? No.
Insurrection, Insurgent were the 2 planets. Yeah. So it starts off really tight, and the storytelling's great, but like I can understand why so many people got fucking pissed at Marvel Comics in the last 15 years, because when you read some of this, it's so bad. It's so bad. But
it's hard.
I mean, yeah.
And that seems like the primary source material for a lot of MCU stuff in general is the last 15 years of Marvel, right?
And that's why I'm reading it, because I want to kind of know some of the stories that Hickman wrote, because they are adapting a lot of Hickman, and, you know, they adapt Bendis and Miller, but like Hickman's the next big writer to get, you know, all of the stuff adapted. Amber asked what show would I like for them, or I think what series or what I like for them to adapt. I'd like to honestly see something that we've already seen. I want to see somebody like a Coogler, or somebody that's a great writer director tackle fucking Luke Cage. Get Mike Coulter back and give me Luke Cage, because I've watched that show twice, the Netflix show. Half of it is awesome and half of it is fucking trash.
The Cottonmouth stuff is amazing though.
Right. It's because they couldn't find their voice between blaxploitation and drama. And like you can't do both.
Tough line to walk.
Yeah, and Coulter was fantastic. Like the casting between him and everybody that they cast in Daredevil.
Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones.
I don't like her as an actress, but that's just me. Yeah, man, the best.
I love her in Breaking Bad. I didn't watch Jessica Jones though.
Best thing about Breaking Bad is when she gets murdered. I
Take that out your mouth. Oh my god.
Think about what they would have done the first Captain America or Thor movies as TV shows. Disney Plus saved us a lot of theater time. Origin stories are out of the way now. Agreed. Definitely a good way to look at it. Iron Fist was definitely the worst thing that Netflix did.
I like season 2.
I couldn't even watch season 1.
Which is weird too, because it's like you never see a show where it's like season 2 is better.
Maybe I'll have to watch it. You know what it is that to me, and I don't know about you guys, Daredevil was like, it was like comparing, if you compare Daredevil to the rest of that stuff, it's like comparing the greatest Oscar-winning movie to like fucking, Punisher Warzone. Like it's night and day. It was. Well, I thought
the first season of Punisher was really good too.
I was very surprised that somebody could make 2 seasons of a Punisher show and I'd be bored.
Really?
Yeah, it was boring, because if you read Ennis's Punisher stuff, it's like the antithesis of boring.
Oh, I know. That's when I first got introduced to Punisher, was the Garth Ennis stuff. But
yeah.
I'm sad to say that I wasn't really on. I frankly wasn't into comics when Netflix was pumping them out, so I sort of missed a lot of that stuff. And like
It's getting really
Daredevil, everyone says watch Daredevil, and I've given it like I don't know 5 episodes, and I'm sort of like, eh. So then with Daredevil's the pinnacle, I have like no incentive to watch any of the other Netflix stuff
That's-
because I'm sort of like, meh.
Well, you could watch like the first 6 episodes of Luke Cage and then never watch another thing because like once Marcel,
Oh, it's all like good and then bad.
yeah, because once Marshala Ali character's not in the show anymore, that show goes.
Once he realizes he's like I could be in a movie, I could be in a Marvel movie instead. Can you just kill me off?
Yeah, exactly. Come back in like 7 years.
Daredevil.
That's like Blade or something.
The problem is with the Netflix shows, and I'll give this to Daredevil, even though I love Daredevil. They should have been 6 to 8 hour episodes instead of fucking 12. You know, you shave off 4 hours of exposition on those shows.
The Born Again series is like 28 episodes.
Yeah, well,
what is going on with that?
I don't know.
Fucking know.
I don't know. That's gonna be wild though. It's gonna.
They're like, no, we're only gonna give you like 6 episodes of this and 8 episodes of this, and then you get like 28 of Daredevil. Like,
man, I don't know.
When they announced that, I was there when they announced that at San Diego Comic-Con. Everybody, it was like a mix of cheers and like, wait, what?
28? Yeah, exactly.
You know, Maddie, you can even just watch season 2 of Daredevil and walk away, be happy because it's all Punisher and Elektra and Daredevil.
Ooh.
And it's like they did Punisher right. They gave Bernthal basically the best script with the least dialogue because he doesn't need, you know, he just needs to kill everybody.
He just rubs.
I can dig that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
One of the best pieces of casting in Marvel history is Bernthal as Punisher.
He's great.
He is.
I love Bernthal.
And he loves playing that role too. So
he does.
Do you think will we see him in the next Daredevil series?
I think so.
They would have to make it rated R.
Man, I don't know. I don't know about them not doing dark. Look, they ported everything over to Disney. They've already established that Disney can do mature content with those shows, and then also Moon Knight, and you know, I think Disney is. There's a chance that Disney is seeing the light because I don't remember who I was listening to talk about this, but it was very recently. It was Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld was talking about how like they showed with Deadpool, they showed with Logan that R-rated movies can make $1 billion. Mm-hmm. Anybody who grew up watching Iron Man as a kid is now an adult. There's no reason for them to just be like, oh, we can't do R-rated content.
I get it, but it was such a slow burn how they incorporated mature content in the MCU though. It was very slow of burn.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
which content would be mature?
All the Netflix stuff is all R-rated.
Yeah, but that wasn't really that was an MCU.
Yeah. That's true.
I think. Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's such a slow burn that they haven't even like really touched on it yet. I'd say the goriest was probably Moon Knight, honestly.
Yeah. Moon Knight was.
He's like stabbing people. He's got blood all over his hands all the time. It's just like very violent, very graphic. There's lots of guns.
Right.
And
Falcon and Winter Soldier went a little dark with the bloody shield and stuff.
Yeah, that was the first. That was what I was saying. Like the first sign of it was. I was like shocked. My jaw dropped when he was just bashing his head in. I thought they were going to show like a decapitated head for a second. I was like, wow, they're really going for it.
And like 3 episodes later, they're like, oh, we're cool.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan
decapitated that dude.
I don't think you need to do another Obi-Wan season. I think one and done is good. I was happy to see him come back. I didn't dislike that show at all. But it didn't leave me feeling like I needed more. By the way,
maybe do another season, but maybe not just an Obi-Wan season. Maybe just like I don't know how they would write it.
The Empire. Called
I don't know, just something. But like I want to see more Obi-Wan because I want to see like flashbacks. I want to see like live action, like his love interests, like Duchess.
Yeah,
it'd be an opportunity to see like a live action Asajj Ventress, which I really want to see.
Or Scotty Massage Ventress.
Scotty Massage. He's not even in here.
No, he's not. He's not. He's
Body massage.
yeah. By the way, I don't know if you guys have ever listened to it. Rob Liefeld's podcast, Robservations, is fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing.
He's a crazy dude.
You know, he is. And when he does interviews that are on YouTube, he's more animated, but with the podcast, it's very much subdued. And
The scenery. Yeah.
he's the level of knowledge I would like to have at some point in my life when it comes to comics.
I'm like, so excited for Ahsoka.
Yeah, Ahsoka's gonna be good. I love Rosario Dawson. Marry me if you're ever
Me too.
watching this. Even though
She's
you're
so
dating
good.
some fucking dude, I don't know.
I've loved her since like Rent.
Everyone has AIDS. It's AIDS, AIDS, AIDS. Oh wait, that's
STD.
that's
South Park.
Team America.
Team America.
What was the name of their fake Rent show? It was called like it was called something. It wasn't called Rent. It was called like Landlord or something like that. I don't know.
Mortgage.
Yeah, but that's when it opened up with the song "Everyone Has AIDS."
That's funny as hell.
Ahsoka and Obi-Wan can't meet. That's not possible, right? Or no, wait.
Yeah, it is. They met in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, that's right. But he's dead and she's still alive because.
Well, they can't meet now. They'd
Yeah,
have to be younger.
Ahsoka. Yeah, his passion is palpable. His collection is off the charts. Yeah, that's right. Rob Liefeld's got like pages from the Superman, Muhammad Ali, Neil Adams. Like it's got a crazy art collection. Lease. It was called Lease. That's what it was called.
Lease.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andor
That's
season
awesome.
2 is Andor season 2 is going to be amazing.
God.
We've got, so what do we have on tap for this year? We got Guardians 3. We've
Which I
got
cannot wait for. And
yeah,
when they
and then
released,
Wasp.
when they released that trailer, I was so hyped.
Yeah, Quantumania comes out in like a month and a half, right?
Couple months. Yeah.
Can I just say about Quantumania that like the trailers leave me kind of cold. I want to like it, but like I feel like all the effecty like quantum realm stuff just literally looks like it looks like they're not only on a stage, but like they're just like in a planetarium or something. Like it just looks like
Well, it's kind of what
I don't
it is.
believe that they're somewhere else. I feel like they're on a stage.
And I don't know if Avery, if you've seen a different trailer than what we saw, but I can tell from this trailer they're showing nothing. They're showing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
They don't show. They show the same kind of stuff in the trailer that I saw. I saw two different trailers. A different trailer for that and a different trailer for Guardians.
Yeah.
So
you know what bugs me? Can I just say on my soapbox for a second?
Sure.
Something that bugs me about MCU directing in general is like it's like a lot of like the Russo brothers style. It's like sometimes you just feel like you could be watching. Well, it's sort of the paradigm's changed now because of streaming, but you feel like you're watching a TV show. It's just like shot, reverse shot, shot, reverse shot. Then like these huge set pieces and like CGI, everything. But like, you know, they tease us with like this Scott Lang and Kang interaction. It's like, have I killed you? Or like whatever, Ant-Man or whatever he says. And I'm just like, couldn't we be looking at this in a more interesting way than just like over the shoulders?
Yeah.
Like look like you're on a stage.
So that's
I just like I hate that about it.
Well, I think it was a whole different dialogue in that scene.
Well, I think that's why
what they do with trailers all the time is misdirect, and they put in like quotes from something that's not even in that scene that you're looking at, stuff like that. So I don't give much merit to trailers, though.
Well, that's
I feel that.
I get what Maddie's saying.
I do too.
I think that's why you got a guy like Sam Raimi, who's now you know on the helm of Doctor Strange, because that was a Sam Raimi movie. That was not an MCU movie.
Which I really appreciate, even though I was a little bit disappointed with the movie. I love Sam Raimi as a director, and I like it when they give like a Ryan Coogler or a Sam Raimi like the ball to run with, because it makes it something special and with a voice and a point of view.
Sure, yeah. Same thing I feel like with Taika. Taika shoots the way he shoots, and the action moves the way that he directs. So and Feige, and I definitely know he said, you know, like that he wants more directors involved, that he can just hand the movie to them and let them do their thing so that he can worry about other things. And you get like
James
one
Gunn.
day, Gunn too. Hopefully we get a guy who's a real visionary. Like I think Taika's a visionary in a way that most people don't ever get to achieve that status. But you imagine having a guy like David Fincher doing a fucking MCU movie? It'd be insane.
Yeah.
It'd be the highest budgeted movie because of his 97 takes. But
David Fincher did the Blade movie.
Oh God, that'd be
That'd be
sick.
sick.
That's what I'm saying. But like stuff like that, like I mean,
But Avery, are you cold on Taika?
He's all right. I don't think he's a visionary, but
Mm.
I love his old stuff. I love
Yeah.
like doing the shadows. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I like his older stuff too. I'm a little burnt on his whole his zany tone is I'm burned out on it, I think.
Loved Ragnarok. I liked Thor: Love and Thunder a lot. I wouldn't be upset if they did a different director for Thor's exit or his next movie or whatever.
100%.
Did you guys see Jojo Rabbit?
Yeah, I love Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo
I
Rabbit
didn't
was
like
such
it.
a beautiful movie. Really?
I didn't like it. Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. I'm burned on his tone, man. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's like I don't find it funny, and I'm not moved. Like it's kind of like it's a tonal. He balanced that movie was like a huge tonal balancing act.
Mhm.
But I ended up feeling kind of like, as you know, part of my Jewish heritage, a little offended by the way that, like, I just didn't feel like I wanted to laugh about Hitler being a best friend, and
I can understand that. I didn't feel the same way, but I can understand that.
Yeah.
I think I agree with what Matt was saying though, in that like sometimes his jokes, they're just like, he doesn't need to go that far, but he does it anyway. And it's like it would have been just as funny if he didn't go that far, kind of thing.
Sean chimed in. I want to know what Scott Derrickson's original screenplay for Strange 2 before he walked away, and the same. I want to know what Edgar Wright's Ant-Man would have looked like.
I don't say I agree with the first. I don't agree with the second because I loved Ant-Man and I loved Ant-Man 2.
Yeah, but do you not like Edgar Wright?
No, I like Edgar Wright, but I just don't. Maybe he wasn't right for that. And I don't care.
He's always right.
He's always right. Man, I'll say this. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
His last movie, Last Night in Soho, I watched it again, and that movie still didn't work for me.
That was a weird movie. I saw that one. Yeah.
It's just
he did Baby Driver, right?
Baby Driver, the Cornetto trilogy, Scott Pilgrim.
That's right. Well, everything.
Baby Driver, I really wanted to like, but
I love that movie.
But didn't quite
I love
do
it
for me.
Choreographing with the soundtrack. It's a very
I mean, it's a feat. It's definitely like an amazing feat that he was able to pull it off, but still wanted to like it a lot more than I did.
But I do agree with the Scott Derrickson take because I loved Doctor Strange 1. It was such a good movie. But but yeah, I don't know. What I'm hoping for is I just want to know what the director is going to be for
for Fantastic Four.
How it's going to like end up.
Yo,
direction.
Let's get Steven Spielberg on that shit. Let's just like call it.
Let's try it.
I thought they already announced that it was going to be what's his name, the guy who did Spider-Man.
Oh, you're right.
Who did what?
What was it for?
Who did the Spider-Man movies?
No, I thought he said he was out. No, he left.
No, I thought it was going to be WandaVision director.
Yeah, that guy. I don't know. It's gone through a couple different voices. I don't know what's confirmed and what's not, but
I was definitely impressed by the dude that show ran and directed most of WandaVision.
Okay,
he was really impressive.
So Matt Shankman is doing Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think he worked on Loki too, didn't he? A little bit, or maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
I'll say this: WandaVision still, to me, is the biggest chance and gamble that they've taken so far.
It was the first show.
That was huge.
It was, and the payoff for it was. I mean, I don't think I'll ever. I don't think I ever appreciated her as a character, and then now I feel like not only do I appreciate her as a character, I can't fucking wait.
That's right.
Can't wait to see Elizabeth Olsen come back as Scarlet Witch. Like I cannot wait because she's what they did with her is showing us what maybe 10 years down the road they're going to do with Jean Grey Phoenix. She's going to come back and like Scarlet Witch is going to come back with a fucking vengeance, and she is going to fuck shit up. And I am excited.
You think they're going to give her another arc after Doctor Strange?
Maybe she's not going to fuck up in a villainous way, but she's going to just fuck something up.
They could just. I think they're just going to go the route and make it kind of. What am I trying to think of? Like, just an efficient transition into the mutant stuff with her. And she'll be like one of the catalysts that moves a big, large group of mutants in there, something like that. They could
something.
definitely use her in a lot of different ways. So
Yeah, they have to. She's too good of an actress and too much like I don't know. I feel like, and maybe I'm reading my friends wrong in general in the room, but I feel like everybody wants to see her again.
no, I would love to
Oh,
see it.
she's incredible.
They would just have to do it right.
Yeah.
Don't bring her back just for nothing. Don't bring her back for some stupid shit.
Scarlet Kanimi in the nuts, and I'd still give her another arc.
Exactly. So what I was going to say about WandaVision too is like it was the biggest chance. I think it paid off, but it was also the inception of speculation ruining these shows and movies for people.
For sure.
Well, can I just say though that phase I found really enjoyable. Like the speculation was fun because it was a
fun.
detective. It was a mystery, and everyone was on the edge of their seats to know, is Mephisto coming?
100%. But no, what I'm saying is it ruined it for other people, and now I hate to see that. People are like, I didn't like this because Mephisto wasn't in it. And I was like, well, he was never confirmed to be in it. So it's
I mean, we all know my feeling on Spec, so it's no secret that it's not my thing. I just don't want it to see it. You know what? It pushed out some people that probably shouldn't have been in the comic space talking about it or whatever.
Yeah.
But whatever we get, we get. Like I'm still one of these people. I will still be happy about getting any of this stuff.
It's true.
They
just better not fuck up one guy.
Dr. Doom.
And that's
how do you guys feel about how he didn't show up in Black Panther like all the spoilers said that he would?
I'm so glad that he didn't.
Because I think it was an original idea, and I think they're trying to sweep it under the rug that he was going to end up being there. But now after watching the movie, I don't think it would have fit at all.
Well, it was going to be a post-credit something or other.
Yeah,
I like the one that we got. It was kind of cool.
I'm so glad they didn't also, because I feel like that the way that movie ended, especially with that mid-credit scene or whatever, if they had shoved Dr. Doom in there, it would have ruined that. It would have absolutely ruined that. So I don't blame them for taking it out if it was ever in there in the first place, which I had heard a year ago that it was, but
yeah.
We could get into Dr. Doom another time, but
no, I think the only way to ruin him is by putting Arnold Schwarzenegger in that suit. I'm Dr. Doom. This is my country, Latveria.
Get in the Thanos copter.
Your country is puny. You tiny humans.
Reed Richards, get the fuck out of here. Do it now. Leave.
Hey, Reed Richards, chill out.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
All right, so I do want to ask, I didn't think I was going to have anybody on today, so I feel like it's a good thing to ask is, Avery, what's your collecting goal for this year? Maddie, do you have a collecting goal for this year for whether it's starting grabbing a big book, grabbing some stuff for the young one to put away? Sound off, each of you.
Avery, you first.
Me first. I'm gonna finish this year. I'm gonna get an FF1 next year for sure.
Holy shit!
I have
Big
to.
boy.
Work up to it somehow. I'm gonna take a little break, and then I'm gonna take a little break from like finding collections, and I'm gonna just try to hit the ground running when I get other shit back on my feet. But I just picked up these two, and so the last one I need is just.
Oh, you did get the annual.
I did get an annual. I got it from Mr. Professor himself.
Hell yeah!
Wait, you gonna go for a 5? Do you have a 5?
I have a 5.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
So when you say you want to get a 1, like does that mean you just save for a while, or does it mean that you have to sacrifice a bunch of books?
I'm hoping I don't sacrifice a bunch.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna just do what I did to get all the stuff that I have now. Like to get the 5, I worked my ass off, and then so I just translate that mentality to getting a 1 too. That's the ultimate goal. But if not, if I can't do that, then just smaller scale, I guess. Maybe like a 6, like an FF6, and then
sure. Davey's got one of those. Do you still have that, Dave?
Yeah. It's on my shelf. Like I did not even mean for it to happen, but my slab shelf in my bedroom has got mostly Fantastic Four books on there. I've got
Wow.
the 6, I've got the 48, 49, and the 52 up there.
And smaller scale, I need
So
an
good.
SS1 and an SS4 Silver Surfer. And
Sick.
I'll complete the full run. I need them raw. So
Yep.
that's why I want to
Yeah,
buy
I'm
the
going for.
packet.
Sorry, you finished, Dave.
Oh no, I was just Red Pill Vegan just chimed in with get another Ultimate Fallout 4 CGC 96 or raw near mint. That's a good goal. That's an obtainable goal. That book's going to skyrocket again because the movie's coming out.
Yeah,
So,
I'm like my dumbass with his unattainable goals. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any like big boy goals in mind. I think mainly, I mean, my goal is sort of on a business level to sort of like smooth. I've started basically I have a lot of work goals, but not so much collection goals.
That's
Like
good.
I want to
But those are
I want to
great.
have like a website up and running where people can like order new books through me. That's something I'm trying to work on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just basically get to a comfortable level with the business where I'm not like stressing about cash all the time, and just more where I have like a nice prudent reserve to be able to buy collections when they come up, because nowadays
Sure.
I feel like I'm always trying to make ends meet, and if I did have a big opportunity, I don't think I could really pounce on it. So like that's just kind of a general goal I have.
Yeah.
But I mean, personally, like I also want to get a surfer run going. I've got 1, 3, 4. I actually got 2 and 5. I think I've got 1 through 5.
I was
Maybe
shocked, how much the later ones are going for now.
Are they really?
Yeah, maybe it was just because I was at a con, but I was trying to fill in like these last 2 that I needed like in the later run. I was
Yeah.
just like, damn. I was like, this is crazy. I remember these were like $40, $50. Like,
Yeah, that's what I thought they were too.
Yeah, they'll drop.
Yeah.
Let's see what everybody else is chiming in. So
Yeah.
Spiders wants to get a Green Lantern 76, which I've got one
Ooh.
down here, and you had a chance to buy it earlier this year, but you didn't. Amber wants to get the Claremont run, which I
That's
know
a really good one.
you're well on your way right now. Flush wants to get a first Harley. And
you're on the right channel for that.
Yeah, I got what, 4 this year.
Yeah.
They just flow like water.
Apparently. And then Spider says now the GSX is dropping, get a second copy with a Cockrum signature.
There you go.
I would say yes all the way. And then Laura asked if he's following you, Avery, should he follow Maddie? Of course, follow Maddie on YouTube. Maddie does some more different, it's funny because we differ in our content, and you do a lot of unboxing, talking about cracking and repressing and all that stuff. So, and then, he jumps onto my show every once in a while because he's always welcome.
Thank you. I've got a 25-book modern pre-screen coming back on Tuesday. I'll probably do a video this coming week.
Looking forward to it. And then Trip wants to get a Werewolf by Night and an 8.0 or better First Moon Night and a GSX in 2023. And I will try and help with one of those.
Man after my own heart.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then Batman, Gene Colan did some work on it. Maybe get some of them. Yeah, I got a lot of that. So yeah, I have.
What about you, Dave?
I've got some goals.
What are your goals?
Collection goal will still remain the same. It'll be no. My collection is get every book that Todd McFarlane ever had a piece of published art in, and I added a second tier to that. Get every Mark Jeweler variant. So I'm well on my way to all of that.
See Todd complete Todd.
Exactly. big book is 181, and next year's goal is to find an Amazing Fantasy 15 either in a collection or a garage sale or an estate sale in some way where I am not paying what I should be paying for it, and then finally is to just keep little by little growing my collection of original art, and then for the business, well, this channel is the baby in your hands, just virtually in my hands. I want to do interviews. Yeah, exactly. I have a list.
This is your YouTube channel?
That is, exactly. I have a list of 7 people that I want to interview on this channel.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
So I'll share that with you guys. This is.
I already know who number 1 is.
Yeah, number 1 is Todd. Number 1 is Todd. Okay.
Number 2 is Todd.
Number
Number 3 is Todd.
Actually, all 7 of them are Todd. But
Todd. No, it's Todd Sankiewicz, Stephen Platt. These two I wrote together, but Jim Rugg and Ed Pisker, the guys of Cartoonist Kayfabe, Joey Q, Joe Quesada, and Ryan Otley. Those are the people I want to talk to. There's a couple others, but that's really the goal for this channel is to keep growing it, to have 50 or 60 people in my sales every Wednesday, and to have 100 people in on Sunday night.
There you go.
That's what I want. I want to grow this channel.
That's great, Dave. The goal is to have more people in the sit down than in the auction.
Yeah, because this is the channel is a vehicle to sell books, and people will buy books if they want to buy books. But I want more people in here just to like talk about books, because if we could keep these types of channels going, whether it's mine, whether it's kayfabe, that just means that people are going to stick around and read comics for more.
More sustainable interest.
Sure, and that's really what it's about. It's like people come in because of their childhood, or people come in because of the shows and the movies. I want people to stay, and it doesn't mean that I need them to buy books from me, but I need them to at least be present to learn about books, talk about books, be part of the conversation, or just enjoy hearing morons talk about books.
That's true.
Present company included.
Yeah.
But keeping the hobby healthy, right? Like
Sure, because for every I want to steal these Comic Tom people and bring them over to the light side. I don't care about top 10 lists. I want to talk about comics and art.
Yeah. I love that.
I guess on that note too, aside from collecting goals, it would be to make more content like that as well. So
yeah.
And you're an inspiration for that. So
and it's I just want to be the ringleader of also the people who want to talk about books. I don't know. I mean, this is my job now. This is what I want to do. I'm loving it. I've been doing this now as a source of income for over a year and a half, and I don't plan on slowing down. But yeah, I want people to enjoy comics for comics, whether they're into it because they want to make comics, they're artists, or they like stories. Like I read comics for different reasons. I can't say I sit there and I read all of Stephen Platt stuff for the dialogue. I don't want to look at I want to look at his art. I want to look at Joe Madureira's art. I try to read Bronze Age comics. I don't know how Spider does it.
I don't know how he does it either.
It's like trudging through the sewer, and like you're just plucking out every once in a while. There's a really good story.
Not only does he do it, but he also really enjoys it, which I envy.
Yeah, I feel like Silver reading is sort of campy and like it's campy enough and that it's fun, whereas like Bronze is sometimes just like, oh boy,
what the fuck is this?
I mean that's a pretty big generalization, but that was my experience when I like tried to crack a Marvel Spotlight 28 and read Moon Knight's first solo story. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that's not
I'd rather just like imagine what I know about Moon Knight instead of like reading this. I do not enjoy this.
And that's the thing about a good comic. Like they say, a good comic, you could look at it, not read any of the dialogue, and you still know what's going on.
Yeah,
because
that's what drew us in the first place. Is like the idea of this fucking badass character and like these cool fight sequences. I mean, it is sort of action oriented primarily, right?
Sure.
So like it's about like character design and and artwork and that kind of stuff is sort of what pulls us in. And then in my opinion, like the sort of writing and storylines is kind of like the next tier, like a bonus level above that.
Well, if you want to read good stories with great art, you read Watchmen, you read Sandman. Like I don't look to Marvel Comics to, like there's a very select number of stories in Marvel that move me. DC, different side. Like DC's got great storytelling, like almost across the board. But yeah, with Marvel, like Wolverine's probably the only thing I ever read cover to cover that I really liked because I love the character. So I didn't really like the story was just but I don't know. I don't know. There's everything's different, but I I'm thankful for everybody that's been part of this channel since I started, the friends that I've made, and the people that are still along for this ride. And yeah, I thought it would be nice to do a year in review for my first full year of doing this.
That's good.
So
what a year it was.
Well, what a year, and congrats, Davey, on the channel growth. And I love your trifecta, you know, between like Instagram, YouTube, and whatnot. And I think it's been really cool to see you sort of like lean more into YouTube as your selling platform as well, because it's kind of like, I don't know, more it shows the focus is also on the content, and kind of building more around this space is really cool to see as well.
It's crazy how fast you jumped to it too, and like how it took on a life of its own kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Wait,
It's very gratifying.
Sure.
It's very gratifying. Like, this is like my little corner, and you're all invited every time I'm on here to come join in the conversation, or, you know, purchase something, or, you know,
like
my
for 2.5 hours and not even realize it.
yeah, exactly. This has been a lot of fun. A trip is right. We need to get the West Coast Avengers theme by Done Messed Up and me on the charts. He's working apparently on a SunDAVE Sitdown song, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Sweet.
But I think this is a good place to end it. Please smash the like button. Still on the road to 1,500 subscribers, so let's pump my channel out to the ether. I hope everybody had a fucking great holiday weekend, whether you celebrate or not. I hope you watched some good movies, some good TV, had good time with your newborn son, received presents, gave presents, got head, whatever it is. And I just want to play this one other clip. Oh, there you go. You got some good helmet. I have a special message that I recorded earlier in the year that I think you all need to know right here. It's coming.
Do you like comic books? Well, so do I.
And that's really all I wanted to say to you. Thank you, everybody, for joining the Marvel Way. Peace, love. Thank you so much. You two stick around. I'm going to close this out with the everybody's favorite theme song, and we'll get this show off the road and into the books. Happy New Year. I'll see you next year. I'll see you Wednesday for another edition of West Coast Wednesday, the greatest show of all time. God damn it. Where's my outro? Oh my God. I don't know what to do. I lost my outro. Help me, help me, help me.
Seamless.
Oh God. Themeless in Seattle. All right, here we go.
It's like
Bye.
the Sopranos ending right now.
You guys.
West Coast Avengers.